Good evening. I am here. Jumping right into it tonight because I can only go the standard 3 hours tonight, and I need to take a short break in the middle of it to change out laundry. So we're gonna just kind of jump into it. They might be wondering why I went to chapter select and started this trial over. By the way, we are pretty far into this. We're in chapter 11 of 17. Why can't I speed through this? I already. Oh, maybe, you know what? I think I skipped ahead here. Yeah, okay, this is after the summation examination. No, we stopped at the summation examination. I found out how to get one of the two question mark accolades, specifically the one with the two bandits on it. So I'm going to be doing that first. It's very interesting. It involves doing something I would never thought of doing. What the woman? Oh, I never actually checked that off. So yeah, this one. It's so weird. It's like, out of all the achievements in the game, just these two don't tell you what they are. This one, I read up on how to do it, and it involves doing something I probably would have never have done. Because I would have thought it would have cost me, points. So I think we have to start from chapter 10 to get it. Trial start. Trial start. So, today is, No More Heroes 3 day. No More Heroes 3 comes out today, and, I just watched the GVG review of it. Steve Bowling says he loves it. He's a huge No More Heroes fan, just like me, so I'm sure I'm going to love it too. I'm gonna get it in the mail tomorrow. I don't know if I'm gonna play it at all until next week, but it's there. And I may have also bought Spelunky. I don't know if I'm gonna stream any of that. That's just an anger fest waiting to happen. I also opted only to get Spelunky 1 because I've never played either of them, and Spelunky 2 is twice the price, and also apparently way well. I've seen Vinny Vinesauce play a shitload of both of them. 2 is definitely harder than 1, so I decided, you know, spend $10 on one, support Mossmouth, I believe the company's called, and, you know, see if I enjoy Spelunky 1 enough, and if I do, then maybe I'll pick up 2 down the road. But also, 2, I read how to get 2's true ending, and it involves a lot of work. You not only need to be able to get to the end of the game, but then you need to be able to get through, like, a 99 area, endless, like, not endless, but, like, essentially, like, it feels endless, but it's like a 99 area, like, place. So it's like 6-1, 6-2, 6-3. This is like 8-1, 8-2, all the way up to 899. And it's like, oh god. Objection. And apparently there's like one-hit kills the entire time, and it's just like, oh no, I cannot do that. Spelunky 1 is apparently a bit more subdued in that manner. Okay, Van Zeke, so we've seen all this last night. I'm doing this specifically to get that accolade I missed. Escapades, like I said, the last 2 take place after the final chapter of this game, so... or at least one of them does. The other one was date unknown. So, we'll see, we'll do those after I beat it. So we got the Macaulay Skulkin brothers, So yeah, it's 12:43 right now, at 2 a.m., so about an hour and a half, a little less from now. I have to go switch out the laundry downstairs, and then I have to stop by about 3:30 if I want to go and finish the laundry afterwards. So in total, I'm only going to be able to stream like 3 hours today, which is normal for me. It's just lately I've been going hard because I want to get this game done. And yeah, that's the story. Life has been okay. Work has been less annoying than usual this week, and I don't know. I'm doing a lot of thinking about work and voice acting and where I'm going with all this shit, and I've had whole streams about this before. Hold it! So last time I only pressed on the very last statement, because that sped everything up here. But you have to do something very specific, apparently, to get this achievement. And apparently, this might not even be the right one. It might be the one after the summation examination. So, accidentally spoiled that these guys come back, which isn't really that big of a surprise. I was watching a video about this game last night, and they used footage from the second game that, like, spoiled something really neat that happens at the beginning of the second game. And I'm like, come on. It was a minor spoiler, but still. It's something... It's something neat, and it's something that happens in the first case of the next game. The front door to Windy Banks was ajar, you say? What time of night was this? Must have been about 1. Right, Ringo? I forgot the voice I was doing for these guys. So, apparently to get this, you have to pursue the two brothers when they're not reacting. Which I didn't think would do it. Like, I thought this would penalize you, but it does not.
Excuse me!
Mr. Ringo Skulkin, do you have something to add? What? Something that was said just now appears to have got you thinking. Oh, well, yeah, I was just thinking about me bruv, Sulky. Oh, the one you lost touch with? Yeah, blimey, he could be a saint sometimes, that one. Always used to give me a share of his grub when we had anything to eat. He sounds like a very kind man. Get out of it, these chips are mine. I'm not sharing. And now I think we do the same thing for the other one. What are you trying to suggest, that you had to go in? Well, God moves in mysterious ways, they say, don't they, Ringo? They do, Nash, they do. What are my voices? These voices make no sense. I forgot the voices I give them, and now I'm just doing random shit.
Excuse me!
Mr. Nash Skulkin, do you have something to add? What? Something that was said just now appears to have got you thinking. Oh, well, I was just thinking about me bro, Sulky. Oh, the one you've lost touch with? Yeah, boy, he could be a right nasty piece of work sometimes, that one. Always used to nab me a share of grub when we had anything to eat. He does sound like a very mean man. It's the exact opposite. Boy, what are you looking at me for, sunshine? Oh, nice, and there we go. Sulky story awarded. Perfect. Anyway. So there we go. Got that. We will not save because the accolade for beating the cases involves you having to do it from start to finish. So I think if I started from there, it won't count. So I'll go back to the file I had. But yeah, just wanted to do that. So they both have differing opinions of their brother Sulky Skulkin, Macaulay Culkin. For having pursued Nash and Ringo when no thought bubble was shown to hear the memories of Big Bruv Sulky in episode 5. Okay. So that leaves this one, which I have no idea to get. 2, 2, 2, 2. 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. Escapades. 5. All of their accolades. Playing the game in all the outfits, that's 2 only. Ace of Spades, the rest of that is in 2. Those are both in 2. The rest of these are in 2 or 3. 2. Well, they're in 2, rather. 2, 2, 2. Okay. Okay, yep. So all we have to do now is beat the case and then watch the 2 other escapades, and we got all the achievements for the first. No. It's saying the investigation. Yeah, from Shulman's is sweet because I got the woman last night by looking at the picture. Anyway, loading from here. The jurors' contention. So we're already at the critical point. Everyone voted guilty. We have to listen to what the jurors say now. All the evidence clearly points to the finger of guilt at this young pickpocketine. As a housemaid, I shall like to see all filthy eyesores promptly and rigorously eliminated. I think you'll find that if you look at the photograph in stereo, the truth will just pop out. If I've left it in there, I should think there'll be repercussions by now. Mind made up. Stop. Global transmission of verdict to follow. Stop. In motherland, we say never judge by clothes, judge by head. I'm convinced brothers are innocent. The circumstances of the crime and the evidence do indeed implicate the defendant rather comprehensively. The storeroom, locked from the inside, in which the victim and the accused were discovered alone, and in the accused's hand the fatal revolver, the firing of which was heard by these witnesses. Not to mention this print. Take it from a chap who's seen action on the battlefield. That young girl's on the verge of pulling the volley trigger. Thanks a lot, Mr. Sholmes. Oh dear, Hurley's cameras were supposed to help, not hinder. I'm afraid I think you have an uphill struggle ahead of you. But Gina didn't shoot Mr. Windybank. Which means there's more to this situation than we've yet to see. Agreed. You have the floor, counsel. Proceed with the summation examination. The defense's rebuttal. I just noticed that the other guys just kind of stand back there. All the evidence clearly points the finger of guilt to this young pickpocket teen. As a household maid, I should like to see how... Alright, I really want to know this guy's deal. Hey, Sour Cream. You're not late today. I started only about 10 minutes ago. Oh, look. You just flat out says it. Please tell me you're not Vilan Bolshevik. The Russian revolutionary. Revolutionary? Duh. I believe there is such a rumor. It's just a rumor? As you see, I have an unfortunate appearance. I look like a vicious criminal. Your words, not mine. Just want to point that out. People call me revolutionary, murderer, autocrat. And which glove fits? Good day. I am visiting London for sightseeing. I would like to take bus to Crystal Tower, please. No, the Twitch blackout is next week. It's Tuesday of next week, September 1st. But because I stream at weird times, I'm going to not stream September 1st and the 2nd for you. For me, it's the 31st and the 1st. Right, that didn't sound staged at all. You forgive me for having my doubts. The fact that it's in red is, might mean that's important. To be treated like vicious criminal all the time. It is very painful. People do not realize. So I have much sympathies for these brothers. People say that criminals are only because of how they look. The Skulkin brothers? Duh, maybe they went inside pawnbroker's shop. But they have not done anything wrong. That is what I want to say. The Skulkin brothers did nothing wrong that night. Alright, well first of all, that's one not so little misunderstanding I'll need to clear up straight away. Tell me something, Iris. What is it, Runo? The jurors are chosen at random from the inhabitants of London town, aren't they? Yes, it's amazing, isn't it? In that case, how is there a Russian tourist sitting among them who looks for all the world like a revolutionary? They have done nothing wrong. Objection, it's bullshit. I wish I knew. I just wish I knew. And that's song because of Adult Swim. And I don't know the whole song, just that part of it. If I can't change the minds of more than half of these 6 jurors, the trial will be over. But we know that Ginny would never shoot anyone. Yes, so we need to find contradictions in what these jurors are saying, and pit them against each other. I must be ready to go whatever lengths I have to convince them of Gina's innocence. So this old dude is definitely the doctor that worked on Sholmes, because he keeps talking about leaving it in there, so I'm assuming he's talking about the bullet. What exactly have you been muttering about all this time, sir? You keep talking about having left something somewhere, or something like that. Ah, so sorry. As you could probably tell, I'm a surgeon. A surgeon? That totally passed me by. Of course, people conducting surgery in this country aren't considered to be doctors. Oh no. Even though me and my kind are at the forefront of medical science, the real brains are in the field. Yeah, it is. It is the same dude. He's just wearing different clothes. So what is it that you think you've left behind? Well, it's a little embarrassing to be honest. You see, I was operating on someone yesterday. Standard thing, went in through the abdomen. But when I'd finished the procedure, I couldn't find my scalpel anywhere. What? Did he? Surely not. Exactly, surely not, you say to yourself, don't you? Worrying, isn't it? That's what's been troubling me this whole time. Could I really have left my scalpel inside the fellow's belly? No, of course I couldn't. So, there you have it. Like I said, a little embarrassing, really. That's one way of putting it. The other is manslaughter. That's exactly my concern, and seeing as this case appears to be all but sewn up, I need to focus on trying to remember exactly what I've sewn up elsewhere. Now, I'm sure I made sure everything was back as it should be. Well, as sure as you can be without being sure. I'm sure you need to be more sure. Well, that didn't go the way I thought it would. Mind made up. Stop. Global radio transmission of verdict to follow. Stop.
Hold it!
Sorry, radio transmission? Sorry, radio transmission? What do you mean? Are you from the Far East? Stop. Yes, from the Empire of Japan. All communication with Far Eastern nations used to take place by mail. Royal Mail steamers take more than a month to complete the journey. But now we have the electric telegram, so we could send messages using electrical signals. Thousands of miles of cable have been laid all along ocean beds, connecting the entire world. Thousands of miles of cable? On the ocean bed? Makes my head hurt just thinking about it. You're well informed, young lady. But cables will soon become a thing of the past. Stop. And just when I was starting to catch up. Radio transmission is the future. Stop. Messages carried over airwaves to four corners of the globe. Stop. Yeah, it is. It is. These are the same people. Excitement growing. Stop. Atmosphere electric. Stop. Right. Try not to wear out your fingers. Era of wireless telegraphy. Telegraphy? Yeah, it is telegraphy. Stop. Driving technological revolution. Stop. And people say inventions like the stereoscope are the height of technology. What utter piffle. I can't understand it. I really can't. They're just silly toys. Oh, he's pissed.
Excuse me.
Excuse. Juror number 3. Sorry to interrupt when you're obviously fuming, but... What? She looks like she could easily beat any Toho game. Do you perhaps have something to remark about juror number 5's last remark? Something to say about it, rather? As if I couldn't guess. Oh, you bet I do! Say that again. Go on. I dare ya. Goodness, are you talking to me? I think he just might be, yes. You think stereoscopes are just toys, do you? Huh? Hey, Ham. How you doing? Absolutely. I mean, really. A machine to view photographs in 3 dimensions. Why on earth, why not just use your eyes to look at the world around you? It's all 3-dimensional. I cannot open this freaking thing of Arnold Palmer. What a great way to appease the man. There we go. No, I'm sorry. Stereoscopes are of no practical use at all. I have autoplay on. You just don't know. Pardon? I think you'll find that viewing a photograph through a stereoscope can unlock all sorts of possibilities. I'm obviously going to have to demonstrate. What sort of possibilities? Well, take a crime scene, for example. If you had a pair of photographs from a crime scene that you could view through a stereoscope, it could reveal hidden clues you never even noticed before. What? Have you got any, Runo? Any prints that we could look at with a stereoscope? How about this print here? It should do the trick, I think. That's not it. How's everyone's night been? Alright, I'm just getting started, honestly. I've been doing laundry and getting ready for the weekend.
Take that!
I was wrong. I can't actually think of anything we could use at all. What? Really? Oh dear, I think I may need to have a stereoscopic look at your brain sometime. What's that supposed to mean? like her mouth is having an allergic reaction from something. Oof. Sorry about that.
Hold it!
What do you mean, look at the photograph in stereo? Sorry? What? Don't you know? If you look at the photographic print normally... Oh, okay, we gotta look at these. It looks as though the pickpocket girl's about to shoot the victim, honestly. Oh, is she looking slightly to the right or something? But there's no indication that the defendant ever fired the gun. All I'm saying is if you look at the same print in stereo, it can reveal all sorts of new information. By any chance, are you a fan of stereoscopes? Oh, how'd you know? Let's call it a lucky guess. It never gets old seeing the two prints merge into one before your eyes. It's extraordinary, it's captivating, it's the height of modernity. Modernity? Modernity? Modernity. Of course. Modernity. There we go. Oh yes, I think you'll find that the stereoscope is here to stay, giving us a new perspectives we can only dream of before. It's the greatest invention the world has ever seen. If only it could give me a new perspective on this case, I might agree with you.
Hold it!
Hey Ryoko, how you doing? Haven't seen you in a while. How you been?
Excuse me.
Been sleeping too much throughout the day. Oof. I kind of miss being able to do that, honestly. I have to wake up. I mean, I sleep late, but I also go to bed late. But I also have an 8-hour day job I have to do that I'm not a fan of, and I hate thinking about it.
Take that!
Alright then, juror number 3. Finally feeling some sense of normality again. That's cool. Are you saying you could do this with any 2 suitable prints? Of course I can. Very well then, I'd like you to demonstrate. I'd be delighted to. Just give me one more print and I'll amaze you all. What? One more print? Feeling kind of dizzy nowadays, getting worried about your body. Yeah. Ain't that how it goes? I don't have another print.
Take that!
Wait, sorry? What do you mean, one more print? Oh dear, don't you have these in the Far East? No, nothing about this game, so I would guess that Ryunosuke is Ryuichi's ancestor, yeah. Exactly. Don't you know how a stereoscope works? Runo! What? You need 2 photographs for a stereoscope, remember? You know, one for the left eye, one for the right. Oh yes, I remember now. What is it? Excuse me. Yeah, exactly. If your body's feeling that bad, always go see a doctor. That said, I'm one to talk. I have very clearly ignored what could be, diabetic foot pain for quite a while now. Stop. Yes, my yawn is cute. Great. But the print we have from the pawnbroker is just a normal photograph. No, I think you'll find that the clue is in the name. It's a stereoscope, not a monoscope. You always need 2 prints. Thanks for the friendly explanation. Well, if we obtain another print at some point later in the trial... I'm not reading that, sour cream. We can always show it to this young man, then. I think you'll find that know-it-all expression is really starting to ignore me. Let's get things back on track, shall we, Console? Grumble. Alright, I already pressed these jokers.
Hold it!
Move on to 2 and 1. Polishing the bench, I see. Again. Maid's work is never done. Not a blemish must remain. What exactly do you mean by filthy eyesores? On my way to market for his lordship, I have to pass through the East End. The place is full of beggars, pickpursers, and crossmen. The scum of the earth. A little harsh, perhaps. Let me be plain. If it were up to me, all those back slums would be made spick and span or eradicated. At least we have people like the great detective working to achieve these important goals. You're referring to Mr. Sherlock Sholmes. That's right, I like to keep abreast of his exploits by reading Ranced magazine in between my duties. He does wonders cleaning up London streets. In my opinion, he should be declared an honorary maid of the capital. Mr. Sholmes? A maid? It's really quite unforgivable. Gutter scum having the audacity to shoot our very greatest detective. Minor detail, it was the 2 brothers in the stand who shot Mr. Sholmes, not the defendant. A minor detail indeed. They're all gutter scum as far as I'm concerned. Well, it just might be an idea to get our facts straight anyway. Yes, alright. I shall amend my statement. These brothers are the scum of the earth. They should swing for shooting the great detective. I think that's what I have to pit.
Objection!
Those 2 statements clearly contradict each other. Good lord, counsel, explain yourself. Yeah, this is Victorian era, no one cares what lower class... Yeah, exactly. The class divide was just as bad back then as it is nowadays. Oh my statement? Contradictory? C-O-N... Juror number 6, you've got the wrong end of the stick. I do not have stick, I have mouse. As juror number 2 said earlier, when the Skulkin brothers fled the scene on the night in question, they fired a shot from their revolver. Yes, they shot poor Mr. Sholmes in the abdomen, I understand. Surely you're not going to tell the court now that you didn't hear. Abdomen, A-B-D... Sir? Sorry, my English is still learning. You are telling the court you didn't hear? Forgive me, I did not hear. Yeah, swords are okay. I mean, Van Zeeks has one, too. Ugh. Ah, here's word. Abdomen, part of person's body containing stomach and other vital organs. If this is what you mean, you should say it in plain English. I am Russian, not native speaker. Who thought it was a good idea to let this man be on the jury again? So, you are telling me these brothers who look like criminals were lying. They said before, we never done nothing. The truth is, they shot detective. Duh. This is double negative. Yes, that's exactly right. Lying is wrong, especially when lie is said by a person who looks like criminal. Coming from you, that seems surprisingly prejudiced. This means, when they said, we never took nothing, maybe it was also big fat lie. Is this true? Well, according to the police report, no stolen goods were found, so... Enough, I trust no one now. It's not the mouse's fault, though, sir. I must see with own eyes. I must investigate crime scene myself. I'm afraid that won't be possible. Yes, it is, Runo. Easily. Sorry? With the prints from Hurley's red-handed recorder. Ah. If you compare the print that pictures Ginny and the next print from half an hour later, you'll be able to see straight away if anything was taken or not. Cooey? Cooey? What? Mr. Prosecutor? Tut, calling the prosecution in the middle of a summation examination of all times. The print showing the accused threatening the victim after she broke into the shop is this one. Following this, the victim and the accused moved into the storeroom. Meanwhile, the Skulkin brothers entered the shop and summarily heard the fatal gunshot ring out. Sadly, none of these events were captured on film. This is the print produced by the camera half an hour later, after the brothers' flight. So this was taken after Hurley was shot then. As far as I can tell. Nothing has been taken. It does seem to be the case. Oh, something's moved though. I can't notice anything that's obviously missing in the second print. So the brothers who look like criminals only told one lie. They shot men, but they stole nothing. It would seem so, yes. Good. No, not good. You are right, I did not understand situation. Now I know brothers have lied. I think it is very important to continue this trial. Hell yeah, buddy. We're on our way. 3 to go. Yay, well done, Runo. The balance is shifting. Just like the walls will be shifting when I play Spelunky. God, I am not looking forward to raging over that game. That is a Spelunky's a rage maker. That is purposely designed to make you angry. Not really, but you can get angry at it if you want. Well, it's a start, I suppose. But there must be more in what these jurors are saying that I could use to expose the truth. And if I could do that, we might just turn this situation to our favor still. Thank you, counsel. Continue with the summation examination. And kindly hand that new photographic print to the bailiff to be filed as evidence. Post-shooting photograph. Photograph taken automatically by the red-handed recorder showing the scene after the murder had taken place. Myrtle! Another print in the court record. I wonder if we can make use of that. Oh, shit. I didn't mean to do that. In wake of lies are many dead fish. We must find truth. Therefore, I say not guilty verdict. Okay. Oh my god, I have to actually sit through this again. So nothing looks different on the surface between these two photos, but the stuff on the table is shifted slightly to the right on the second photo. You could tell just by looking at it when they went back and forth. Yep, the paper is over the edge, whereas the paper was lined up with the edge. The paper, right here. This spot right here is over the edge in this one, whereas in the other one, it's clearly lined up with it. Meaning that when we look at this in a stereoscope, we're going to see something hidden somewhere that's missing in one photo. Alright, I guess I gotta press her again. I wonder if Van Zieks thinks when he looks at his predecessor. Well, Van Zieks is... Here's the thing, I don't know if Van Zieks is necessarily...
Excuse me.
I don't think Van Zieks is directly related to Edgeworth. He might be, but I don't know. Something I like... I watched a video last night, and again, I mentioned it spoiled the first case of the next game for me, sort of. It spoiled, like, a neat little thing that happens in it. Not little, it's actually kind of the main hook of the case, but... something that got brought up that I actually agree with is that Van Zieks is not as naive as a lot of the other prosecutors in the series. The series has, like, a tendency to show the prosecutors kind of bumble about whenever they're presented with information that they didn't know about. Like they'll always be like, oh, well, I set all this information up ahead of time, so the defense lawyer will walk into a trap. And then when you, like, break through their argument, they get all surprised and, like, can't fight back. Or they, like, struggle to. Van Zieks, on the other hand, seems way more like he knows what's coming. Like, and not in, like, a kind of, like, he's 10 steps ahead of everyone kind of thing, but more like he has common sense. When you point out a contradiction, if there's, like, something about it that he can poke a hole through, he kind of presents it right away rather than act surprised about it. The only time he's act surprised is like when something legit that he legitimately doesn't know about comes up, and it's really cool. Like, it's really cool. It makes him more believable rather than the other prosecutors where they act surprised and then they'll be like, haha, I knew all along. I was just acting surprised. It's better writing, essentially. Might buy a new processor. Neural net processor. Shut up, you don't know. Splendiferous, alright.
Take that!
Alright then, juror number 3. Are you saying you could do this with any 2 suitable photographic prints? Didn't see any links between Van Zieks and Edgeworth in your quick search just now. Just for the record, don't do that with all the characters, because I don't want to be spoiled if there are any other connections here. It also makes sense that Van Zieks isn't related to Edgeworth, because right now we're in Britain, and in no iteration of what we know about Edgeworth is he British. He's posh, but he was also raised by someone who had very posh stylistic standards, that being, what's his name, Von Karma, who's German. I guess Van Zieks is German, too. But we're not in Germany. Von Zieks. Of course I can. Well then, I'd like you to demonstrate. I'd be delighted to. Just give me one more print and I'll amaze you all.
Take that!
Alright, these 2 prints were both taken with the same camera in Windy Banks on the night in question. Yes, I see. Tell me, Mr. Lawyer. Do you know how stereographic images work? Ugh. Be funny seeing Edgeworth trying to impersonate a British accent. I mean, in the English dub of the 2nd and 3rd games, not 2nd and 3rd games, of the 5th and 6th games, Dual Essays and Spirit of Justice, he has kind of a posh, like, pseudo-British accent. And also in Layton vs. Ace Attorney, he has a British accent, but that's also because the majority of that cast was British. In the anime, though, he has a much more neutral, Middle American accent. The Great Ace Attorney, but in caveman times. Boom, bestseller. Do you understand the principle? Well, I think so. I did have a lesson only yesterday. The left and right eye images need to be the same. Oh my god, are we really going over this again? Only with a slight shift in the positions of the same objects. By the way, this is the thumbnail I made for yesterday's part. I used the I didn't use this. I used the image of both of the cats overlaid on each other on just a black background. I was like, this image is funny. I'm going to use that as the thumbnail on YouTube. And when your brain merges the 2 images together inside your head, it notices the shift as if it were depth. Yes, exactly. It's that small shift between certain objects in the 2 pictures that's really important. So what happens if you use 2 photographs that are exactly the same, then? No, obviously that wouldn't work at all. Not for seeing the scene 3-dimensionally, anyway. Oh! Of course, now I see! I think the young girl's discovered the secret! I have! Don't cross your eyes like that, please. Can you uncross... My words exactly, Ryunosuke. Can you uncross your eyes before you tell me? Have another look at these 2 pictures from Hurley's camera, Runo. Go on. Can you see that there's a really obvious difference between them? Of course there is. There are 2 people in the first and no people in the second. Well, yes, you could see that straight away, but now, try looking at the pictures in 3 dimensions. Alright, I'll give it a go. So to start with, you have to cross your eyes and then try to make the 2 pictures overlap exactly. Again, this is probably way more fun to do on the 3DS, where you could actually view them in 3D, rather than here, where we're just kind of doing a visual effect. Let's see if by crossing my eyes I can make the quill pens from each picture overlap in the middle. Wait. Well, did you manage to see it properly, Runo? They actually expect you to cross your eyes. Ah! What's going on with these 2 pictures? Some of the things on the counter sort of jump out at you. Alright, well, I knew it was different from the get-go, so I'm fine with not crossing my eyes to see that. That was great. That was a great quick visual gag there. Judge crossing his eyes, and then Van Zeke's just having his own friggin' mini stereoscope. Yes, 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 that's it. You see it. That's the other amazing power of the stereoscopes. Other amazing power. Is someone going to explain this black magic, eh? Why the deuce some of the things on the counter seem to jump out at you like that, hmm? I think you'll find that if you consider the basic principle of the stereoscope, you'll answer your own question. Basic principles of stereoscope. As I said before, if you try to look at two identical pictures using a stereoscope, it won't work at all. It's the slight shift in the positions of certain objects that lets you see pictures three-dimensionally. In other words, even though at first glance it seems like the objects on the counter haven't moved at all between the two pictures, this shows that actually, there must have been a slight shift in their positions. Yes, there must have been. Hold fire there, sir! Get a reasonable grasp of this whole cross-eyed business now, I say. But why the devil does this shift between the two prints exist in the first place? Well, what's the answer, fellow? Come on, you're the cross-eyed master. What? Me? I haven't the first idea. You know, Runo, it's quite simple. It is? Yeah, this is making no difference here. Just think it through step by step. The first photograph was taken at 1 a.m. Then, 30 minutes later, the second photograph was taken. But the position of some of the items on the counter appears to have shifted... Woo! But the position of some of the items on the counter appears to have shifted slightly in the interim. So that means... that sometime in the half-hour interval, someone must have tampered with the things on the counter. Zookers! Someone tampered? New information. Stop. Not mentioned in testimony so far. Stop. R. Whoosh. I've never been on Reddit, but my girlfriend pretty much made me download the app for it. Because, she's been sending me so many Walton File memes. Which I'm enjoying. I'm so enjoying that series. I can't wait for, Tape 4. We've had to go around in circles a little here, it seems. I've actually mentioned it on stream, I think, every day this week. But I'm starting to see what I should be aiming at in this summation examination now. Ladies and gentlemen, the question now is clear. We know the items on the countertop were moved, but by whom? Are you suggesting you might know? Moon? Oh, the wolf? Of course. I can tell you right now who's responsible for I can tell you right now who is responsible for the almost imperceptible shift in the items in the counter. It's either Nash or Ringo. I'm assuming Nash.
Take that!
It's the Macaulay Skulkin brothers. It was the witnesses currently in the stand. The Skulkin brothers. Wait. Zasada was 16. Yes. She is 16. Right there. 16. Oh, you saw that because I brought that up. I was like, why are you questioning that now? Who is this dude? We saw him for one scene and he's gone. For reference, Naruhodo is, I think, 23 or 22. He's the same age as Kazuma. Was the same age as Kazuma. Oof. This does not agree with what brothers said in testimony before. They said they did not even have time to pull dukes from Lucy Lockets. My phrase book says dukes is meaning hands, and Lucy Lockets is meaning pockets. But this is another lie? Is this what you are saying? Yes, I'm afraid so. Hold on there a minute, you can't be sure of that. I quite agree. The accused is a common pick purse after all. It's perfectly possible that she went through the things on the desk to see what she might steal. I think that's unlikely. And why exactly? As you could see from this photographic print, the defendant was pointing a gun at the victim. It would seem, as my learned friend indicated, that she was coercing Mr. Windibank to open the storeroom door. In other words, Miss Lestrade's interests lay within the storeroom, not in the main shop, giving her no reason to touch anything on the counter. All of which points to one thing. The Skulkin brothers have omitted key facts in their testimony. accused as a pick-purse, common gutter trash. Why look any further for the wrongdoer here? Because the Skulkin brothers are thieves, madam. No better, in fact worse than a pick-purse. I believe that these brothers were looking for something on the victim's counter that night. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, if you would condemn the defendant on the grounds that she's a pickpocket, would it not at least be right and proper to thoroughly scrutinize testimony given her again? Would it not at least be right and proper to thoroughly... Wouldn't the first juror have a Russian accent? Garadeb? No, he's British. The sixth juror has the Russian accent, because he's Russian. Would it not at least be right and proper to thoroughly scrutinize testimony given against her by the two thieves? Well said. He claimed to be a Russian? No, he was a British soldier. You're talking about Garadeb on the far left, right? I, for one, would like to hear more from that shady pair. That's not the voice I just did. It says comrade. I'm pretty sure he's a British soldier. He literally had British regalia in his room in the last case. Can you all see now? I think you'll find stereoscopes aren't playthings. You've seen their extraordinary potential firsthand. I also think, I'm pretty sure when was communist Russia a thing? Hold on. Efforts to build communism began in 1917, so no, he wouldn't, even the Russian guy wouldn't be a communist at this point, because this is the 1890s. Why are people throwing open flames in the courtroom? It's just the flashy way the juror system works in this game. Wholeheartedly agree. Stop. Must purchase after trial. Stop. Will return home to Regent Street. Via Regent Street. Stop. They essentially send the fire to the left when they think the defendant's guilty, and to the right when they think the defendant's innocent. And if they all vote guilty, you get to do a summation examination. Well, it would seem this trial has yet to run its course. The ladies and gentlemen of the jury have declared their inclinations via the mighty scales of justice. Wait, I only saw three people do it. I hereby call the summation examination to conclusion with the balance altered in the defendant's favor. 2 lean to guilty, 4 lean to not guilty. Accordingly, the jury is without consensus. And I order this trial to continue. Yay, well done. Oh, by the way. What? You should hold on to this, Runo. You never know when it might come in useful. Twice in one trial would be unusual, surely? But, alright. Stereoscope, a fold-up device that allows anybody to enjoy seeing things in 3 dimensions simply by looking through the eyepieces. Runo, yeah. Lord Van Zeeks? Von Zeeks? Van Zeeks? I don't know. Von Zeeks. It's like how I said Chaud's name in Battle Network wrong for 5 games, and then when I went to the 6th game, I started pronouncing it right at the very end. Chaud. You instruct the witnesses that the court demands additional testimony from them. I'm sure it won't spoil the bouquet to do so, my lord. Just look at the Spirit Hunter series, especially Deathmark. I'm gonna be honest, since it's a Spirit series I've never heard of, I don't think right now is the time for me to look into it. I have so many games already on my radar here. I have No More Heroes 3 coming to me in the mail today, technically. And I literally just spent $10 on Spelunky for the Switch. I'll keep it in mind, though. Remind me off stream, and I'll look into it. Yeah, I have heavy game overload. Plus, I still have Fuga and World Ends With You, which have sat unplayed for weeks. I've won myself another chance to probe that pair about their activities that night, at least. The only game really interested in for Switch is Mario plus Rabbids 2. I never played the first one, but I've watched a playthrough of it, and it looks really nice. Super picky about buying console games. I'm kind of the opposite. If it's for the Switch, I'll buy it. You should see the amount of games I have on this thing. Many of which I've never played. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 16 rows with 6 games each. And then I have Golf Story at the very bottom. So 16 times 6. That's 96 games. 97 games. Not counting the fact that a lot of these are compilations. That's X Legacy Collection. That's 8 games and over 2 titles. Super Nintendo Entertainment System. That's like 50 games right there. This is 2 games. This is 2 games. Great Ace Attorney Chronicles is 2 games. It's Adventures in Resolve. So yes, I have a lot. I've played maybe like 20% of my Switch library, and not even to completion. Monster Hunter Rise, I gave up on that as soon as I hit the credits because I didn't have time to play it anymore. I won't stop probing them until I've proven that Gina is innocent. Stop saying probing, Ryunosuke. I really need to... Oh, nice. Okay, so now we're where I loaded up from the beginning, Chapter 11. So we're doing pretty good. We're about, we're over halfway through this case. Probe the jurors. Order, please. Let us resume proceedings. Witnesses, you will now retake the stand. Yeah, when I was loading up at the beginning of the stream, I did that hidden achievement involving these two. And I accidentally loaded from this spot, so I was like, wait a minute, this isn't right. So I quickly exited and came back. I presume you heard the defense's counsel summation examination. This dude has 3,087 games on Steam? No, actually, I have way fewer Steam games than I do Switch games. Wow, nice. Nice stuttering, computer. Jesus. I have 30 games installed locally. Wait a minute. Does that count? What's actually there? Yep, I have 30 games installed locally. 153 games not installed. Wait, that can't be right. Uncategorized, it says 153, but that's not right. Something's not right there. Okay, so maybe I have more. I don't know. Really have to go back and finish Tribal Hunter. No, not you, some dude in the internet. I really want to finish Tribal Hunter. I might do that at some point in the next couple weeks. Just play that through. I presume you heard the defense counsel's summation examination. Oh, yeah, Governor. I did, Gov. I did. Wham. Mr. and Mrs. Mr. and Mrs. Wow. Mr. and Mr. Skulkin. He also almost likely has $30,000 in credit card debt. To be fair, you want to know something wild? I've had 5 figures worth of credit card debt before. It's all gone now, but yeah. Last year I made kind of like a mad dash to pay off my student loans once the lockdown started, and I knew like, well, I'm not going on vacation. So I just sunk all my paychecks into student loans, and I just let my credit card debt build up and eventually almost maxed out. But I then paid it off, so even though I was without money for a while, I am now completely debt-free, and I'm very happy about that. And I've just been saving the last couple years since I live a very privileged position where I'm not currently paying rent. So I just let the savings build up a bit, and then I'll see what's going to happen. I do want to move, but now's not the time, unfortunately. Anyway, most likely gonna buy himself a dining room set. Cool, blimey! This is going to be hard work. Earlier in this trial, you gave the following testimony about your actions after you enter Windy Banks. Well, it was bedlam soon, weren't it? It was, Nash, it was. Didn't even have the time to pull me dukes out of me Lucy Lockets. I made a joke about Scott the Waz yesterday when he was saying that, and I think Scott the Waz actually uploaded a video yesterday about E3 2001. However, that was a lie. My voice is all over the place right now. You brothers! Cool, blimey! On the night in question, you rifled through the items on the victim's counter. You never done nothing of the sort. How'd you figure that out? You will now give formal testimony once again. You will tell the court precisely what happened on the night in question, and this time, you will tell the truth. Wait a minute. They were standing in the back while I was doing this. While I was doing the summation examination, so... Why are they surprised by me making that statement? Each lie that passes your lips serves to increase the severity of your punishment. And that, gentlemen, may deal a crushing blow to your chances of ever seeing the light of day again. Polly says bullshit. Squawk. A thought worth pondering, perhaps. Say no more, Gov. We hear ya. We'll blab, we'll squeak, we'll peach. Oh, that was the other one saying that. Whoops. The legal entry, the whole truth. Alright, we did knock a few things over, but we weren't rifling for nothing. I said squawk, that's good enough. It was when we heard the gunshot, see? Made us both jump and all that stuff went flying. Lummy, didn't give me half a fright. Lummy, it didn't have to give me a fright. We was thinking the shooter would come out through the door to get us next. We stuck everything where we found it back and scampered straight into him in the black. We couldn't have shot the pawnbroker, see? We never had a chance, did we? So you admit the defense's accusation. You did indeed ransack Mr. Windybank's countertop on the night in question. Not ransack, Governor, no. That's right, Nash. That's right. It's more like we tidied up, yeah. Sorry. By their own admission, these brothers entered the pawnbrokery under dubious circumstances. However, they panicked and fled on hearing the gunshot, having first made good their mess. I'm sorry. Alright. I shouldn't do that if people have pets. Well, you say it, we oddly sound like roughs at all. We don't, Nash, we don't. Can't make us sound a bit more... Can't it make us sound a bit more cutthroat? Well, that was not the right accent there. It can't just be coincidence that these men showed up at Windybanks that night. There's more to their testimony than meets the eye. I'm sure of it. My girlfriend's dog, when I make a mourning dove noise, she'll react. That's not good. My lips need to be wetter here. Hold on. That didn't come. It's too low. I could do it really well, but my lips have to be wet. Alright, we did, but we weren't rifling for nothing. It was one... Okay, I gotta focus on this. I'm not paying attention to the story. It was when we heard the gunshot, made us both jump, and all that stuff went flying. Lummy, it didn't give a half a fright. We was thinking the shooter would come out the door and get us next. Okay. We stuck everything back where we found it and scampered straight into him in the black. We couldn't have shot the pawnbroker. See, we never even had a chance, did we? This sounds wrong.
Hold it!
Yes, whereupon you fired a shot from your own gun at Mr. Herlock Sholmes. You are a big distraction, Sour Cream. Oh, yeah, we was a bit hasty there. We was, Nash, we was. Truth be told, I was already shaking like a leaf when you lot turned up. If you're shaking like a leaf, don't put a loaded gun in your hand. Good advice, miss, good advice. Truth be told, my mind went totally blank. Before your mind goes totally blank, make sure you don't have a loaded gun in your hand. Mental note made, miss. After that, we legged it down the street, but apparently we looked dodgy to the coppers or summit, so they clapped the dobbies on us like the wingin'. And after you'd been handcuffed, the police found this revolver in your possession, correct? Well, yeah. But listen, that proves it, doesn't it? Eh? We couldn't have shot the pawnbroker, see? We never had a chance, did we?
Hold it!
And why should we believe that? Eh, what? Well, because it's true, innit? The place was totally empty when we went in. At that time, the victim was already in the storeroom. having been forced to open the door by the accused who had a gun to his head. In other words, on the night in question, these two witnesses never even laid eyes on the proprietor of that pawnbrokery, Mr. Windybank. I don't know why my voice did that right there when I said pawnbrokery. Correct? You got it, mister! Down to a T. Oh. So the Skulkin brothers never actually encountered Mr. Windybank. Is that really true, I wonder? That's it? That's the full extent of their testimony? What is it, Runo? You look very fierce. I could pour you some herbal tea if you're tired. Oh, thank you, but I'm fine. Being such a logical dinko, you'll probably laugh. But I feel as though these brothers are still hiding something. Something important. It's nothing more than a feeling, though. I have no proof to support it. Well, feelings can be very logical at times. Sorry? People's expressions, the movement of their eyes, the words they choose. You could take all that in and your brain will quietly analyze it to come up with a feeling like you describe. You've concluded that there's something suspicious about this testimony without knowing why. That's all. I think you should trust your instincts. And never give up. Iris, thank you. Sometimes I think if she's 10 years old, I must be 5.
Hold it!
If that's the case, then why didn't you testify to that effect in the first place? Well, you know, we ain't exactly squeaky clean, are we? We ain't, Nash, we ain't. If we admitted something like that, the people would think we was up to no good. You weren't up to no good. Well said, Ringo, me old China. We only land ourselves in even more trouble. And in fact now, as a result of lying in your previous testimony, that's exactly what you've done. Landed yourselves in even more trouble. That's rotten luck. Says the rotten apple eater. Yeah, he's definitely ain't a pupper no more, he's huge. Witnesses, explain your actions to the court. Why did you ransack the victim's counter? We never ransacked nothing. Right, Nash, right. More like we tidied the place up. Sorry.
Hold it!
So what you're saying is... the sound of the gunshot shocked you so much you knocked all those things off the counter? Well, it shocked one of us that much, yeah. This bag of nerves needs to learn to keep his shirt on. Von Zeke's looking to skip the pages of a Castlevania art book. Yeah, he even does the, he throws his glass into the fire. And it burns up somehow, even though it's glass. Look, it was loud, alright? Blimey, me dead granny would have woken up at that bang. Term giant blob of happiness for your dog. Aww. My girlfriend's dog, she's an older dog, and she has the boniest limbs. If she walks near you, she's gonna, like, stab you to death with the back of her legs. Her limbs are so pointy. I think it's the wine that's burning, not the glass. I guess so, but the glass still disappears, so... Big Bravia screamed like a bloomin' baby and fell over on the counter. It knocked over a load of books, a candlestick, and some skull whatnot. That got tangled in some marionette. What knocked over the picture frame, what knocked them scales on the floor. He's a South African Mastiff, wow. You've really mastered working quietly, then. What a racket. Me and Granny would have been scared back into her grave at a clatter like that. So in short, the gunshot took you by surprise. And then some. I mean, it was quiet as a mouse, and then all of a sudden...
Right.
BAM! This game has made me hungry for fish and chips, and now I have to see if there's any place I could DoorDash it from tomorrow.
Excuse me.
Inspector Gregson, do you have something to add? He thinks it's a 180-pound lapdog. Oh my god! That is one big dog. That dog is almost as heavy as me. Well, not almost, but not even close. Yeah, regenerating bombless fish and chips at that he eats out of a newspaper. Like I keep saying, I don't appreciate being lumped in with these scoundrels. No, something to add about their testimony. You seem to react just now at what Mr. Skulkin said. Did it make you think of something? Probably nothing, of course. Wouldn't even bother to mention it, only... Well, the fact is, cases don't get solved if you ignore the little details. How about you just tell us what's on your mind? As you know, we brought these fellas into the yard for questioning last night. And the statement they gave told a slightly different story to what they're saying now. Did it? That was not the same voice. You claimed you heard the victim shout something out before the gunshot. Might have, Gov, might have. It does ring a bell now that you mention it. Granted, it's only a minor detail, but still. I can't help but feeling like perhaps you've been a bit sloppy with your testimony here, eh, fellas? Floofies. If I discover the witness's testimony has become any more sloppy than it has hitherto proven to be, I shall be forced to bring the very harshest punishment to bear against them. Easy, easy. We'll get it right this time. That's it. Yep. It's all coming back to me now. Then speak. Supplement your testimony with whatever details you have miraculously returned to your questionable minds, sirs. Right you are, Gov. Just before the gunshot, we heard a voice yelling out, "Give me that gun!"
Hold it!
So in fact, you heard the voice and the gunshot almost simultaneously. You also have a German Shepherd who's a scaredy cat. Aw. We did, Gov, we did. Although, I suppose if you're being honest, we heard a kind of wavering voice before the yell and all. If you don't want to get shot, give me that gun! Kind of thing. A career in acting tragically missed. And where were the voices coming from? Could you tell? Of course we could. From the other side of the door, behind the counter, it was. In the storeroom, where the victim was found, dead. The voice you heard, it was that of the victim, Mr. Windybank. On me Grammy's life, of course it was. On his granny's life, of course it was. You have a third baby, his name is Banana? Oh, that's so adorable. I guess that's why you work at a dog daycare, right? So that would mean that you both knew Mr. Windybank and the sound of his voice. Oh, he's a snake, not a dog. Snap. Oh, nice. I used to date someone who had a big boa constrictor, and it was really, really cool. And now one of my friends has a big snap too. A snake might be something I want to get. Can you boop the snake? Excuse me. Oof. You both knew Mr. Windybank and the sound of his voice? So that would mean what? What, Nash, what? Any ideas? Yes, Counsel, indeed it would. No, we didn't know the geezer. How am I supposed to deny it when the bloke in all the fancy clubs is giving us the evil eye? If you value your lives, you will ensure your testimony is accurate and true. On me granny's life it is. On his granny's life it is. It must be. It's a good job and his it's because the job his granny's dead. Wait, good job. Hold on, wait, what? Yeah, it's a good job his granny's dead. That's more of that, like, 1890s vernacular that I don't know. To summarize then, immediately after hearing the voice of the victim, you then heard the gunshot, causing you to stumble and upset the items on the counter, scattering them all over the shop floor. You make it sound like we're clumsy. Don't forget we tidied up like good little boys. Anyway, the way I see it, the bloke who owned the place was holding the gun, so we should have just fired it instead of yelling at the girl.
Hold it!
Yeah, Von Zeke's bottle's right next to him. You're saying that Mr. Windybank had a gun in his hands? Oh yeah, bet that was a sight, eh? That them two waving the guns at each other must have gotten pretty heated. I mean, just before he shouted out, we heard the geezer say, "If you don't want to get shot..." Didn't really sound like he meant it, mind. More of an empty threat, you could say. Mr. Windybank was known to keep a revolver in his shop counter at all times. People say that to protect the articles in his keeping, he'd readily put a bullet in someone's head, if required. That someone being himself, of course. Good grief, extraordinary devotion indeed, if alarmingly misguided. Well, it certainly sounded like he was ready to pull the trigger the other night. Would you rather have wine thrown at you or a hot coffee? I mean, they're both pretty bad. The hot coffee can cause permanent burns, while the wine bottle can just kill you straight up. Only the person was going to shoot him, beat him to it. Cooked his goose proper. Bet he wished he'd squeezed the trigger instead of wasting time shouting, "Give me that gun!" And it was directly after the words you heard the gunshot. It was more or less the same, Gov. Give me that gun. Bam! Van Zieks or Godot? I personally love Godot. I think Godot's a great character. Kind of thing. Yes, a career in acting very tragically missed. Then we had the sound of someone hitting the deck. Before everything went dead quiet. After that, we'd done a slapdash job tying the place up.
Hold it!
So you didn't try to open the storeroom door then? Not on your life. If it went deathly quiet after that, we did. Put the wind right up me. But anyway, the door was locked, wouldn't it? No way that was opening. Yes, of course. It was locked from the inside, so we've been led to believe. It was, Golf, it was, from the inside. Right, so we had no way of knowing what was going on in there, did we? Unless there was some other way to get a view of the inside of the storeroom. Like, through the keyhole, or a spy hole, perhaps. Don't ring no bells, don't light no lights. We've had to cut and run before we noticed anything like that. We're still cutting our teeth in this game, see? But one day... we'll really cut the mustard. Please, cut it out. But as we know, behind that door was the victim's lifeless body, with the accused not 2 feet away. Yes, unfortunately. Gina was in there unconscious, with that gun in her hand. To confirm, would it be correct to say that neither of you set foot inside the storeroom? That's right, Gov. That's right. Couldn't have, even if we wanted to. You said hot coffee, not burning hot coffee. Hot coffee is a minimum of 71 degrees Fahrenheit. So I choose the yeah, that's exactly why. The wine bottle just... you get hit with a glass bottle. That's capable of killing you. I think I already pressed that one, didn't I? Yeah, I did. Yeah, also 71 degree coffee is not very hot, but we're going by hypotheticals here.
Hold it!
My mom can't stand... so our Keurig, our K-Cup brewer, makes coffee at around, I'd say 90 to 100 degrees. Probably more than that. It's like 120. Not 120, but it's over 100. And my mom still thinks it's too cold. She has to end up heating it up on the oven afterwards. Well, I got no clues here. Mine makes it about 160. It's probably how much mine makes it. But my mom is like, it's still too cold. I need to make it hotter. The bloke what owned the place was holding the gun, so he should have just fired instead of yelling at the girl. Okay, so clearly... I mean, it's either going to be this, or it's going to be the gun itself. Hold up device that allows anybody to... oh, I didn't actually examine this. 160C, no, 160F. You have to pop 2 prints in here to start with it if you want to see. And then when you look through the eyepieces, you can see the image in 3 dimensions. The important thing is to get the right set of position. The important thing to get right is the position of the 2 prints. Wouldn't the cup also kill you? Maybe. Depends what the cup's made of. Most coffee mugs are ceramic, yeah. I don't know who came up with the idea of a stereoscope, but it's really quite fascinating. Oh, look at that. It's totally changed shape. Just for one little button press. Well, it's what the button's for, Runo. You're just like Hurley. You boys love pressing buttons, don't you? Especially if you don't know what they do. Us boys, says the 10-year-old girl. Anyway, now you can see that it's really a stereoscope, can't you? Not there's anything, like, hidden here, because this isn't actually a piece of evidence. Ran non-stop 10 miles today, damn.
Objection!
Got it. Nailed it! You're saying that on the night in question, the victim, Mr. Windybank, was wielding a gun, is that correct? That's it, Gove. You got the picture. Yes, now she has. No question. And yet the photographic evidence from the time of the incident clearly shows that Mr. Windybank was not in the possession of a firearm of any description.
Objection!
Your point being? You surprise me. Does the defense really intend to highlight evidence that compromises the position of the accused even more? You fell to bed with spaghetti legs. I had spaghetti for dinner tonight, so it's almost the same thing. Ah. I ate spaghetti, then I bought Spelunky. Furthermore, the defense has failed to establish that the photographic print presented was taken a suitably short time prior to the victim's death. Your chronology is severely lacking, counsel. Yeah, that's right. Too right, Nash, too right. The old geezer could have been about to turn the tables on the girl, eh? Hardly likely. No, I'm afraid this won't stand as conclusive evidence. Continue with the cross-examination, counsel, and heed my earlier warning, witnesses. Eating spaghetti equals running 10 miles sounds about equals. Yep. Skulkin's never skulkin'. We're Macaulay skulkin'. Bulking up. Oh, man. That was what I... That was my contradiction. I don't know what else to present. Just let her be guilty? No, she didn't do it. I don't know what the fuck to do. Nash's statement seems off. It was secretly Sasato. Oh. Couldn't have shot the pawnbroker. See, we never had a chance. This is bullshit. I have no idea what to present and where. I've already pressed everything.
Objection!
Nope. Okay, so feelings, blah blah blah, we know.
Hold it!
the storeroom, so they couldn't have. They didn't knock things over. Well, no, they did.
Hold it! Hold it!
Oh, if we had the same height facing forward, how'd the bullet come from behind going upward? What? No. It's, he was shot, so the bullet, if you look, it's not really visible in the photo, but if you look very closely, you can kind of tell the bullet's curving up slightly, and that's what it says in the autopsy report, implying that Gina shot him, or someone short shot him, because... or someone low shot him, because the bullet curved upwards from where it was shot. I'm stumped here. I don't know what to present and where. Shooter would come out and get us next. It's a single discharge. Yeah, it looks that... well, it looks that way, but they're still saying Gina shot it upwards. I don't know. I have no clue. I just want to figure out what I have to present here. This is annoying me. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait. Straight into... everything back... straight into him in the... no, that's not it. I don't... oh my god. What is this? What is this testimony?
Objection!
Nope. What is his last statement is clearly at odds with this piece of evidence. I'm sorry, counsel, but I failed to see the connection. Oh. And for heaven's sake, would you kindly desist from that wide-eyed, panic-stricken look you're wont to wear? But it's the only panic-stricken look I know. They don't do the thing in this game where, like, if you get it wrong multiple times, they highlight the one you should, talk to. Like, I was hoping I'd get that hint. I'm gonna just have to save and start doing the Ace Attorney Shuffle here. Which a lot of people know about the Ace Attorney Shuffle. That's when you, present it wrong. No, I'm not Googling, because that essentially removes the whole point of playing the game. Just before the gunshot, we heard a voice yelling out, "Give me that gun." I don't understand why this wasn't the thing. This pisses me off.
Objection!
Nope. There's clearly something odd about that last statement made by the witness. There's clearly something odd here indeed. Your behavior, counsel. Oh, haha, please, don't mind me. It'd be significantly easier if you would lower your hand. I won't lower my hand until I prove my client's innocence, as long as it's quite quick. I am getting thoroughly annoyed by this now. This is reminding me of one of the Rise from the Ashes cross-examinations, where I like had to present every piece of the 30 pieces of evidence you get in that game to like figure out which one was the right one. I get my chance. I'm not losing any more chances on this one. Heard a voice yelling out, "Give me that gun." Bloke what owned the place was holding the gun, so he should have just fired instead of yelling at the girl. Well, he didn't do... Okay. Wouldn't have shot the pawnbroker. See, we never even had the chance, did we? Did we? Did you?
Objection!
Apparently you didn't. I am it's absolutely stumped.
Objection!
Hint would be nice. The game's supposed to... see, this is the other thing. Like, this is a Shu Takumi thing. He doesn't want to give the hint. Whereas the two newer people that were handling the series were, like, all fine with it. I am quite perplexed now. Welcome back, Sour Cream. Holding the gun, you should have just fired it instead of yelling at the girl. What? Maybe it is this statement, just because there's two well, no. I already presented on this statement. We heard a voice yelling out, "Give me that gun." I think this is the one to present on. Her voice yelling out, "Give me that gun."
Objection!
Yeah, this is the old school Ace Attorney technique. Present, reload if the music's still playing. Rifling through nothing. Rifling for nothing. What do you mean you weren't rifling for nothing? You have to be rifling for something.
Objection!
Nope. This is getting annoying now. I'm actually annoyed at this. Show all of Nash's statements? Okay. So he said, we did knock a few things over, but we weren't rifling for nothing. Then he said the bloke what owned the place was holding a gun, so he should have just fired instead of yelling at the girl. Lummy, it didn't give half a fright. We was thinking the shooter would come out the door and get us next. So they knew the shooter was in the back room. We stuck everything back where we found it and scampered straight into him in the black. Talking about Ryunosuke. We couldn't have shot the pawnbroker, we never even had the chance. Didn't knock a few things... No, they said they knocked a few things over. They weren't rifling for nothing. Google, no. We did knock a few things over. We weren't rifling for nothing. I want to figure this out. Hold on. Maybe, hold on. Maybe it's the gun on this one.
Objection!
Nope! Can I... Is there like a quick restart? No. Hold on. Nope, the game actually... Because this is a console, it doesn't actually have the quick restart function. It's like me playing a Super Robot Wars game. Move, reload, move, reload, move, reload. It's funny how Super Robot Wars standard difficulty is Fire Emblem casual difficulty. Yeah, this case is grinding me. Sour Cream, I just showed you all of Nash's statements. You're not finding nothing. I'm gonna beat the shit out of these guys in the back alley.
Objection!
Damn it, I thought that would be it. I was like, wait a minute, how would he know the person would have the gun if he didn't see it?
Objection!
Should ask the guy who was shot. Ah, shoot, Takumi! You were so close to a home run here. But this testimony is just too bad. I mean, the gun seems very... You heard a voice yelling, "Give me the gun." Okay, what does that contradict? The bloke what owned the place was holding a gun, so he should have just fired instead of yelling at the girl. How would he know that? But nothing I present is deflecting that.
Objection!
I'm wasting too much time now. See, this is annoying me. I wanted to finish this on Sunday. Okay, I'm good. We stuck everything back where we found it and scarpered straight into him in the black. They're talking about him, Ryunosuke. I feel like it might be this statement just because it's very definitive, and it seems like prime break this shit down material. Hop Windybank's blood is blue. Green. Probably Mr. Sholmes' blood. Actually, no. Probably not. Actually, that's a good question. What is this bullet? This isn't the bullet that hit Mr. Sholmes, is it?
Objection!
It is not. Grinding me down now. All it takes is one bad testimony to just fuck an entire case up. Like I said, Rise from the Ashes had a couple of these where, like, it's impossible to figure it out. No bullet would pass a body like that. Nah, that's not true. He was shot in the abdomen. I guess it came out the other end. Like everyone where he found it.
Objection!
Nah. Wouldn't carry blood though. Interesting. So what is that blood? That gunshot was made there. So where did that bullet come from? Shot. Yeah, it shouldn't be there.
Objection!
But apparently it has nothing to do with this testimony, so it really doesn't matter. Green blood belongs to Nash? Why? He's not injured, though. All we know about this is that this appeared after the date was switched over. Meaning, it can't be Windybank's, because Windybank's blood turned blue. And apparently that's not Sherlock. Who's Sherlock? Who the fuck is Sherlock? It's not Sherlock Sholmes' blood. Unless it is and he got shot a separate time. But whose blood is that, then? That was clearly made after the date changed over, so it had to be between midnight and 1:30. I feel like this is the right track, but I'm not. We can't like these guys just don't react to any of those statements. Weren't rifling from the.
Hold it!
Man. I mean, what? Both knew Windy Bank and the sound of his voice. So, I mean, what? Why not? Yes, Counsel, indeed it would. We didn't know the geezer. How am I supposed to deny it when the bloke and all... Well, no, because it's only going to be someone else if you examine them when they're reacting to something. How am I supposed to deny it when the bloke and all the fancy clobber's giving us the weird eye? If you value your lives, you will ensure your testimony is accurate. Okay, to summarize, immediately after hearing the voice of the victim, you would then hear the gunshot, causing you to stumble and upset the items on the counter, scattering them all over the shop floor. And then they tied it up. And there we go. There's no inconsistency there at all. See, my thing would be, why do they know this specifically?
Objection.
There we go. Fuck. I had to present the dead body, not the floor plan or the gun. Stupid. So you're saying that on the night in question, the victim, Mr. Windybank, was wielding a gun. Is that correct? See, because I showed the other photo where Gina was holding it, and apparently that's not right. I had to show the photo where he had already been shot, even though they pretty much proved the same point. That's kind of loose. I'm not big on that. That's it, Gov. You got a picture. And there she has, no question. And yet, photographic evidence obtained immediately after the incident clearly shows that Mr. Windybank was not holding a firearm of any description. You what? You what, mate? Gordon Bennett, that ain't right.
Objection!
There can be no question that the victim's revolver was used in the incident. I would remind the court that Mr. Windybank's gun was found at the scene. Not only was it identified as the murder weapon, but it was found in the accused's hand. Yeah, that mole totally used the victim's own gun to finish him off. Give me that gun. Bam. Kind of thing.
Hold it!
Stay exactly where you are, right there. If the crime had taken place as you so colorfully described in your testimony, it would give rise to an undeniable and insignificant... Sorry. Hit the bottle a little too early today. It would give rise to an undeniable and significant inconsistency in the final moments you just acted out. Goodness, are you sure, Counsel? Sorry, I do drugs. You intrigue me, my learned friend, but let's see some evidence to support your claim. Where is the proof that demonstrates this inconsistency in the witness's portrayal of the victim's final moments? It probably is the photo because, he was shot in the back. No, it's the photo of the dead body again. According to their testimony, the witnesses claim to have heard a shout of "Give me that gun," followed by the gunshot. Indeed, with the two events happening almost simultaneously, or so we've been led to believe. Yes, that's right. Now, if that testimony is true, it would mean that at the moment of death, the victim and his attacker would have been facing each other. However, if I could ask the court to study the photograph of the victim's body again, you can clearly see that Mr. Windybank was in fact shot from behind. So, as I stated before, there is an undeniable inconsistency in your testimony, Mr. and Mr. Skulkin. I think I'm going to forego taking the short break I was going to do to switch out the laundry. Because I just realized if I stop at 3:30, I could just switch it out and finish it before 5 a.m., so it's fine. I'll have enough time to do it. But it's the honest to God's truth. It is, Nash, it is. When he was shot that night. shopkeeper had a gun in his hand. We saw everything with our own bleeding eyes. Did I hear you right just now? You actually saw Mr. Windybank holding a gun? Something like that might have slipped out. Ladies and gentlemen, you have all just heard the admission by these two witnesses that on the night in question, they actually saw with their own eyes the victim wielding a gun, which can only mean that despite their testimony to the contrary, the Skulkin brothers must have encountered the victim. I messed that up. The Skulkin brothers must have encountered the victim in person. We got him, ladies and gentlemen. Nash, Order, order, order! Witnesses, explain yourselves at once. Well, the thing is, it weren't supposed to, It would seem that my previous warning fell on deaf ears. You love the short guy standing on the box? They used that joke quite a few times in the series. I made it clear that false witness would be the death of you. Am I to understand that you replaced the untruths of your original testimony with renewed lies? Ever so sorry, Governor. Truth is, see, we, Cut it out, Nash, cut it out! If we blab now, you know what'll do to us. He? What are they talking about? Let me make your position perfectly clear here. We will talk. There's no other option available to you. Bruv, come on, the game's up. But you'll have our guts for garters. In case it isn't quite sunk in yet, no matter how hard you try to hide it, the truth will come out. On the night in question, it is now apparent that you brothers met face-to-face with the victim. I demand that you testify again to explain the precise circumstances under which this meeting took place. Well... Do we have to? On pain of death. I suggest you make yourselves fully aware that this is your very last chance to tell the truth. Encounter with the victim. Alright, so we just got inside the gaff and heaved a sigh of relief when the geezer showed us his mug. Give me that gun, he bellowed, and then flew at us like he was possessed. I thought we'd had it. For an old geezer, that bloke was strong as an ox. He chucked me over the counter. Pulled me gun on him, and then he legged it through the front door in the back room. We never had nothing to do with killing him. That's all what happened, I swear. So you're now telling us that the moments before the victim was killed in the storeroom, you in fact encountered him in the main part of the shop. Well, yeah, sorry. Well, we find ourselves at an interesting juncture. This changes matters considerably. But honest, Governor, this time, Nash, this time, we ain't got nothing more to hide. Very well, counsel for the defense, you may proceed with your cross-examination. Yes, my lord. This is it. The moment I've been waiting for. On Ace Attorney game where it's Phoenix's predecessor is the lawyer and their friend who was in the first trial, wasn't this plot point, thought we died, actually became a prosecutor, and is now our rival. I would have to read that again for it to make sense, sorry. When you say geezer, I presume you mean the victim and proprietor of the shop. Who else? Sorry, I mean, that's right. He was keeping a close eye on the entrance to the gaff, obviously. Well, we never thought no one was gonna come out of the back room like that. Every friend in the first trial dies, right? Well, every mentor figure, yeah. The back room being the pawnbrokery storeroom. Yeah, that must be where he popped up from. Only place he could have been. So it would seem the victim was already in the storeroom when these brothers entered the premises. Which means Ginny must have been in there at that point. Which means Ginny must have been in there at that point as well. To be fair, Apollo Justice, the mentor in the first case, does not die. They swerved that story very hard. Also, Mia's mentor doesn't die, because Mia's mentor was Mr. Grossberg, and he's fine in the actual series. But that doesn't make sense, does it? If Gina had threatened Mr. Windybank into the storeroom with her at gunpoint, then why would he have emerged from the same room all alone with the brothers when the brothers arrived? Oh, I don't know. Did you see the accused at that time? Well, that mole Tulu? Couldn't tell you. No way, Kaba. We have bigger fish to fry then. I mean, the old geezer just lost it. You mentioned that Mr. Windybank shouted these words in your previous testimony, too. However, you claim that you heard him yelling them at the other side of the storeroom door. Oh, did we? But the truth is, he was shouting those words at you, wasn't he? Oh, well, yeah. Was the victim Mr. Windybank wielding a gun at the time? Was he ever? Blimey, lummy! A great ugly barrel lad, pointed straight at me me frontispiece. So what you're saying is, you definitely saw Mr. Windybank with the gun at that time, is that right? It is, Gov, it is. Spot on. And all of a sudden, it came at us, he did. It was bedlam. I didn't know who was going for who. They were clearly all going for each other. Like Nash said, we thought it had it. I mean... An old geezer, that bloke was strong as an ox. Chucked me right over the counter. Yes, I noted that you mentioned the counter in your previous testimony, too. Well, yeah, of course we did. It knocked over a load of books and candlestick and some skull whatnot. That got tangled in some marionette, what knocked over a picture frame, what knocked over them scales on the floor. So in fact, it wasn't the sound of a gunshot that shocked you and made you knock those things off the counter? Well, Big Bruv here went flying over that counter like a gunshot, I could tell you. Then that old geezer there pinned him. It did, Nash, it did. If you hadn't been there, the bloke would have flattened me like a bloomin' pancake in seconds. At the time in question, the alarm was raised at the local police station via a secret cable from the pawnbrokery. There was a button under the counter used to activate it, which was presumably pressed by the victim. That's right, when the brothers fled the scene and back onto the street, they ran straight into the arriving police, didn't they? Poor Mr. Windybank, he did everything he could to protect his shop. Pulled a gun on him and he legged it, and then legged it through the front door into the back room. Oh, he legged it. Were you intending to shoot Mr. Windybank? No, never. I was just, you know... looking out for me bruv, weren't I? It was being flattened, don't you forget? By a man whose shop was being burgled, yes. And then, the man fled into the storeroom when you pointed your gun at him, is that it? Yeah, that's it. He shoved me away, then ran off through that door and shut himself in. There's something about that last remark. Something that doesn't quite ring true. I wonder why Mr. Windybank ran away into the storeroom. What? Well, according to what everyone's saying, Ginny was in there waiting for him, with a gun. Ah, yes, that's right. Ginny allegedly used Mr. Windybank's gun to threaten him and force him into the open storeroom door. In which case, how did the gun end up in Mr. Windybank's hands again? I have no idea, but that is strange, isn't it? This little inconsistency could be significant. I should make a mental note of it. Look, the point is me and my bruv here. That's right, Nash, that's right. Me and me bruv here. We never had nothing to do with killing him. That's what happened, I swear.
Hold it!
You say you had nothing to do with it? Nothing at all. Nothing, Gov, nothing. The old geezer went and shut himself in the back room, didn't he? Locked it was from the inside. We knew it was because we tried to open it. But it's a decent door, that one. Good and strong. Wouldn't budge an inch. So in the end, the situation remains unchanged. Inside the storeroom with the pawnbroker, there was only one other person. The sole person who could possibly have shot the victim. The accused, Miss Gina Lestrade. Ah! It would indeed appear so. What say you to that, counsel? know. Was there anyone else apart from Gina who could possibly shot Mr. Windybank? I feel like this is a trap. Mr. and Mr. Mr. and Mr. Skulkin. What? What's that look for? From the moment you admitted that you encountered the victim face to face that night, the course of this trial changed completely. It did? What is your point, my learned friend? The question we must answer is who could have shot Mr. Windybank? And it is the belief of the defense that the defendant is not the only possible answer at all. You have my attention. In that case, let us return to this plan of the premises. The victim was killed in the storeroom, which was locked from the inside. Those are the facts. So pray, what other possible answer to the question of who shot the men could there be? Counsel, you must now provide answers to the court in respect of 2 conundrums. 2, my lord? Twice as many chances to be right, maybe? Indeed, namely, from what location did the culprit shoot the victim? And furthermore, where was the victim at the time? Understood, my lord. Are you alright, Runo? I'm not entirely sure, but there's one thing I am sure about. If I can prove that there's a credible new alternative to what just happened, it would change Gina's prospects hugely. So now, time for some clarity. Show the courtroom on this plan the answers to the questions posed by his lordship. If you believe someone else could have killed the victim, indicate from where that person could have fired the gun. You know what? Just because of how the timing of the stream is working, I think I am actually going to go do the laundry now. It's been 2 hours. I'm going to stream for another hour once I get back, but I'll be back in like 5 minutes. I'm just going to swap the laundry out and come right back. You guys can figure out where the victim was shot. Hey, I'm back. Laundry switched. I wish I had timestamps on in my chat. How do I enable that so I could actually see... Chat appearance. Timestamp for new messages. There we go. Why was that not enabled? There we go. Now I can see actually 2:38, so I was gone 6 minutes. Not bad. Alright. Indicate where that person could have fired the gun. Right here, maybe?
Take that!
The defense believes that the culprit could have shot the victim from this location here. I'm sorry, I didn't realize that squeak was that loud. Maybe I was holding it too close to the mic. And in answer to the second question... Oh, I really have to show both things at once. Assume the culprit fired from the location indicated. Where was the victim at the time? In here.
Take that!
Wham. The culprit shot the victim from outside the storeroom. Continue. Mr. Windybank died instantly from a bullet wound in his back. Looking at the stain of blood on the storeroom floor, it doesn't appear that the body was moved after death, which tells us he was almost certainly shot while he was in the storeroom. However, the crucial point is, where was the shooter when the fatal bullet was fired? So you are adamant that the shot was fired from outside the storeroom. Well, according to the Skulkin brothers' earlier testimony... That's a good time for me to take a drink. If Mr. Windybank ran away through that door, we have to assume that the door was open at the time. Ah! Wham. It was at that precise moment, when the victim was fleeing for his life, that these brothers had the perfect opportunity to shoot the man in the back once he was inside the storeroom. Yeah. Come to think of it, do you remember what the prosecutor said at the start of the trial? Moving on to the findings of Scotland Yard's coroner. His report states that the bullet entered the body on a rising diagonal trajectory. I don't know why I'm reading this, I read this earlier. Poor man, shot while he was running as fast as he could to safety. Of course, he would have been leaning forward as he was running away. So even if the bullet was fired horizontally, it would still have entered his body at an upward trajectory. Maybe. So the culprit isn't necessarily someone shorter than Mr. Windybank.
Objection!
I'm sure my learned friend can't have forgotten that the storeroom door was found closed and locked from the inside. You claim the victim was shot as he fled into the room. Do you also claim his corpse was dexterous enough to turn the key in the lock? Ah, but... What if someone else locked the door? Yes, there is someone who could have locked the storeroom door. Is that so? Very well then, counsel. Present your hypothesis to the court. In the scenario just described, the defense's assertion is that the victim was shot from outside the storeroom. In which case, who shut and locked the storeroom door from the inside? Well, that's obviously it's Lestrade.
Take that!
Obviously, the person who locked the door was the only person inside the storeroom at the time. The defendant, Miss Gina Lestrade.
Objection!
That's absurd. You're suggesting that the accused deliberately engineered the sealed room? For what possible reason? Such actions would only serve to tighten the noose around her neck. I'm inclined to agree, I must say. Well, counsel? Ah, yes. That's a tricky one, that, isn't it? Half-baked notions have no place in my courtroom, counsel. Remember that, please. But of course Ginny would have locked the door. It almost goes without saying, doesn't it? It does? Well, if I was Ginny in that situation, I know I would have locked the door as quickly as I could. I mean... Those two burglars had just fired a gun in her direction, hadn't they? Oh, yes, obviously. Before the two brothers arrived, Miss Lestrade and Mr. Windybank were in the storeroom together. Now, I don't know what went on between them at that time, but at some point, Mr. Windybank must have heard the intruders breaking into his shop and left the storeroom. Intruders, eh? That's us, bruv. If your theory is correct, that would leave the accused alone in the storeroom. Yes, it would. Then, probably only moments later, the victim fled back to the storeroom, hoping to escape danger. Hit in the back by the bullet, Mr. Windybank fell to the floor where he was, just inside the storeroom. And what we have to ask ourselves now is, what would the defendant have done in that moment? I see where you're going with this. Outside the storeroom was a terrifying killer who just murdered Mr. Windybank. As soon as that thought struck Miss Lestrade, she slammed the door shut and locked it, in order to save her own life.
Hold it!
But I mean, we ain't the ones who done it. We ain't, Gov, we ain't. You gotta believe us. I mean, come on, we never shoot no one.
Objection!
You just shot Mr. Sholmes. That's blatantly untrue. I know for a fact that you would. Because before my eyes, you shot Mr. Herlock Sholmes. There's only one logical conclusion here. Mr. and Mr. Skulkin, you brothers had every opportunity to have been the true perpetrators of Mr. Windybank's murder. Where does this leave us? You mean to say it wasn't the pickpocket who shot the pawnbroker after all? I should have known it was those three brothers. They look as shitty as a dense forest. That was amazing, Runo. All the members of the jury seem to be firmly on your side now. I know, first time ever, and probably the last. Well, I think you've done it. Surely they'll have a verdict of not... An admirable effort, my learned friend. What's this now? He's laughing. You find the situation amusing, Lord Van Zieks? I, myself, find the defense's argument most persuasive. I dare say. Such chicanery is the bread and butter of street performers in your provincial eastern nation. Provincial, excuse me. But such blatantly malicious conjuring tricks amount to nothing more than inexcusable pettifoggery here. What? The hypothesis you put forward so ostensibly credibly cannot and will not stand. Because, you see, it contains a fatal flaw. A fatal flaw? Do you mean to tell me that you're unaware of your own logic's failing? I say, Lord Van Zieks, mightn't I dare to explain this bally conjuring trick or whatever it is that under the troops on the ground, The fatal flaw in my learned friend's argument is really very simple to understand. There goes. Assuming you're not too dim-witted to count bullets. By George, count bullets! Oh dear. You noticed then. Huh? What's everyone talking about? Counsel. Counsel, yes. Yes, sir. Tell the court how many bullets were found at the scene of the crime. Two bullets. Correct. The first, that which hit the victim in the back, ending his life. And the second, that which struck the detective, Mr. Herlock Sholmes, on his arrival at the scene. Indeed. The defense presented a picture showing the damage caused by the second bullet earlier in the proceedings. The bullet which injured Mr. Sholmes appears to have passed through his body to strike the calendar. Yes! Told you! It went straight through him. But that's not his blood, is it? Maybe it is his blood. Maybe the inconsistency is that the bullet is still in Mr. Sholmes, and we're going to find that out, and then that's actually a third bullet. Your lordship's understanding is correct. Furthermore, we know there are two firearms involved in the incident. The revolver belonging to the victim, Mr. Windybank, and the Skulkin brothers' revolver. The evidence shows that a single bullet was fired from each gun. Yes, indeed it does. A single bullet from each. Now then, my learned friend. You yourself told the court only moments ago that these two brothers shot Mr. Herlock Sholmes right before your eyes. Ballistics matching isn't a thing yet, I see. Yep, no ballistics matching, no fingerprints. Yes, I did. No luminol either. The whole... Oh my goodness, I think you'll find that if a single bullet was fired from the brother's gun hit Mr. Sholmes, it means... Windybank not shot by the same gun. Stop. Only one bullet. Stop. Doctor claimed to have forgot to remove the bullet. No, he claimed to have forgot to remove his scalpel. I thought it was the bullet. If that green blood belonged to Sholmes... Oh god, Sholmes is a Homestuck character. God damn it. So yeah, not only is there no ballistics and no fingerprinting, there's no luminol either. The way that we're determining whose blood is whose is that Iris invented a gun that essentially shoots a chemical at bloodstains, and the bloodstains turn a specific color, and then each color is essentially matching to a specific person solely by the composition of their blood. So like instead of blood types, it's blood color. It's really silly. It's really silly, and it makes me think of Homestuck because all the blood, because of all the blood colors. Exactly. Yes, this Nipponese street performer presented an ostensibly credible argument. However, it was never anything more than a diversionary trick, with no hope of standing up to scrutiny. Oh. Ah. Order, order, order! Oh god, my head! Pray forgive the discourtesy of flinging the dregs of this hollowed nectar into the public gallery. Lord Van Zeek, you just killed a man! I don't care. But this court needs to open its eyes. The accused, Miss Gina Lestrade, is no ordinary little girl. Despite her young years, she can, regrettably, no longer be described as a juvenile. No, the person in the dock is far from a law-abiding citizen. She has a past riddled with criminal conduct. Uh-oh, they're bringing up the case. The truth is, the accused broke into the pawnbrokery on the night in question with loathsome intent. As we can see beyond doubt in this print, which depicts her threatening the victim with the murder weapon. And I have here in my possession one more piece of evidence the prosecution wishes to present. The disc. Oh god, here we go. The jury's gonna go into Van Zeek's guide because plot. Yeah, of course, that's that music box disc. Mr. McGilded's music box disc. One second. I'm actually going to, just in case I go back into, auto mode, I'm gonna send the, set the reader to half a second shorter. The very day before the hateful murder of Mr. Windybank, the accused attempted to make off with this article, which clearly doesn't belong to her. And with another subtlety of a pickpocket, I might add, but by brute force and brazen impudence. Good gracious! Make no mistake, any sympathy for the accused on account of her years is misguided and dangerous. There are no depths to which this girl would not stoop if pushed, no crime she would not commit. The court forgets this, the court forgets this, ow. Ow, you poked me! Stop poking me! The court forgets that fact at its peril. I see. You can't speak. I think it would be prudent to take this music box Dix. God damn it. Poke. Stop poking me. I think it would be prudent to take this music box God fucking damn it. You could tell I've been at this for a while when I start doing this. Yeah, box of dicks. If you've never, Ryoko, if you've never seen the Ace Attorney live dub spoilers, outtakes, I highly recommend watching those videos. I think it would be prudent to take this music box disc into evidence, Counsel. As a grim testament to the defendant's character. We just holded it. Lord Van Zeeks, Inspector Gregson? What? Yes, Inspector. We had a meeting yesterday at the yard with the prosecution service, and, I think it was agreed that the disc wouldn't be used as evidence. What's this all about? Why is the inspector acting strangely? It's the first time he said anything to Van Zeeks at all. I'm unaware of any such meeting. But those were the instructions, right from the top. The government bigwigs were insistent. I don't give a shit about them. Inspector, I'm the prosecutor. I alone determine how to present my case. Your warning is noted. Thank you. The prosecution wishes to proceed with submitting this disc as evidence, my lord. Indeed. Bailiff? Metal disc used to play music in a mechanical box. On the reverse side is a note that reads, "For McGilded." Okay, I get it. You're poking me. You keep poking me. Poke, poke, poke. Keep poking me. That's from Wizardry 8. If you poked your character's little portraits, they would say stuff. Actually, no. Was that Wizardry 8 or was that Warcraft 3? I think it was Warcraft 3. Man, I never played a Warcraft game, and I'm never going to. The prosecution has established the accused motive, opportunity, and baseness of character. Yes, I remember poking on Facebook. Me and one of my artist friends would do that constantly at each other. There's nothing more to add. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I await your informed decisions and rest my case. Wait a minute, what? I don't believe it. I had the jury on my side for all of 5 minutes. Oh dear. It wasn't even for 5 minutes, Runo. It was more than 5 minutes. Because I went down and did the laundry. My lord! I wonder if I might say something at this point. Proceed, Mr. Foreman. Whoops. I keep accidentally, grazing my keyboard, and that's worrying me. Been stumbling about in a bit of a fog up now, if truth be told, but all of a sudden... The answer's barely obvious to me and my men. There's only one thing for it. Oh, come on. Oh, no. Very well. The court will hear from the jury. Ladies and gentlemen, you will present your leanings as to the defendant's culpability.
Guilty.
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 Load of shit. We have a consensus among the jury, it seems. When you have eliminated the impossible, whatever remains must be the truth. Oh! That's a quote from the main series. I wonder if Ryunosuke passes that quote down. Though, that's not Phoenix Wright that says that. It's Mia that says that, isn't it? It's kind of weird. That's my line. I wrote that for Hurley. Ah, how dare he use it against us? Oh, maybe whoever... Alright, whatever. Don't worry, Iris. I don't think we're finished yet. There's still more to this case than we realize. There must be, because there's one thing that I'm absolutely certain of. Gina didn't shoot Mr. Windybank. That's beyond any doubt. Very well. We will proceed with the second summation examination of the day. Mr. Foreman, are you mad? Are you in the... As he said, are you mad? Are you upset? I am not upset. Are you upset? I am not upset. Mr. Foreman, are you and the other jurors ready? Garrett Squadron is primed and ready for action, sir. Very good. So, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you will each explain on what grounds you have now determined the defendant to be guilty. Glitty. Gleedy. Jurors' contentions. Once a rogue, always a rogue, I say. Different breed to us law-abiding citizens. Theory, the judge is just a torso and above. As only 2 bullets were found at the scene, I would say this whole case is done and dusted. You don't need a stereoscope to see the truth here. Every which way you look at it, it was that pickpocket. I never imagined that simple operation would cause me such grief. The accused had attempted on a theft on the previous day. I can see I'm in for a busy day ahead. I am ballistics expert. I have seen many shootings. There's nothing I do not know about guns. It would seem that there is little remaining room for doubt. I have to admit I was rather bowled over by the argument put forth by that chap in black. Chap in black. You could hear her squeaking. Poke. But when that fell apart like a house of cards, I saw that I'd jolly well been hoodwinked. Well, no more! The whole courtroom is turning against me. It's not fair. Iris, that prosecutor's being mean. Just because Ginny's done something she shouldn't have done in the past, that doesn't make her a murderer. Allow me to savor this fruity vintage while I savor the spectacle of your fruitless debate on the matter. I smell a fruit in here, and I don't think it's the wine, buddy. It's me. I'm the fruit. Here's to the truth coming out, eventually. That's enough preamble. Counsel, proceed with the summation examination. Ow. Yes, my lord. My lord. Oh, I don't have Laws's emotes anymore. I cut all my subs in August to sync things up. I don't have access to his finger thing emote anymore. Ah, that would have been perfect right now. What the fuck? Okay, sorry. This one Ryunosuke slices up the jury. Alright, going after this guy again. I feel like we're gonna find out that the bullet in Sholmes is still there, and then there's gonna be 3 bullets at the scene. Would you please stop muttering about things that have nothing to do with this trial, sir? The defendant's life is on the line here. Well, the thing is, I couldn't really say that it is nothing to do with this trial, to be honest. Huh? I mean, there's no question that the man was shot, but the bullet had simply vanished from his stomach. It's quite inexplicable, don't you think? I almost don't want to ask, but the surgery you've been muttering about all this time, you were operating on... What was the fellow's name now? Herlick? No. Herlock? No. Hairlock. Herlock Sholmes by any chance? Yes, good lord. It was that Hairlock fellow. What?! You're the surgeon that operated on Mr. Sholmes? That's right, using the very latest anesthesia techniques, I might add. It was a fairly major op, I can tell you. This is crazy. Let me see, the fellow was brought in not long after midnight, if I remember correctly. They said he'd been shot by some criminal or other, so I opened him up like a shot. But the funny thing is, I went over his insides with a fine-tooth comb and couldn't find the bullet anywhere. So I'm afraid I had to throw up my hands and just stitch the fellow back up. I hate to state the obvious, but... Yes? Surely that's because the bullet is still at the scene of the shooting. The counsel for the defense is correct. As clearly shown in this photographic print. The bullet that the Skulkin brothers fired at Mr. Sholmes hit him in the stomach region, then exited his body and lodged into the shop wall where the calendar was hanging by the door. There's not going to be any exit wound on Mr. Sholmes, is there? I think you'll find it's really quite simple if you just consider the problem three-dimensionally. What do you think I am, son? Well, juror number 4 is about the best I can do. As soon as I saw the wound to the man's stomach, I flipped him over. Like a pancake? Are you saying that you checked his back? Of course I did, and there wasn't a trace of injury. No sign that the bullet had left the body at all. What? That's the point. The only logical conclusion was that the bullet was still somewhere in the man's innards. Which is exactly why I set about slicing him up. And I'm still none the wiser, even now. How many times do I have to say it? Can somebody please explain how it happened? Can somebody please solve this mystery? It's almost as much of a mystery as how this jury was put together. The mystery of where that bullet ended up is infuriating. Where's an expert when you need one?
Objection!
Oh shit. These two statements clearly contradict each other. Sorry, old bean, I can't accept that as squadron leader. What? All fighting for a common cause, don't you know, my chaps? No way they contradict one another. I concur, Mr. Foreman. We will refrain from personal attacks on the jury based solely on your own frustrations, Counsel. The really frustrating thing is I thought I'd identify a genuine discrepancy there. There are a lot of questionable characters in the Garadeb Squadron. You might have to listen to what they have to say a few times before it starts to make sense. Yes, and press them on anything that sounds suspicious. That's the way forward here. But still, should we really be labeling members of the jury as questionable? I'm gonna stream until 3:45, so 35 more minutes. That'll allow me enough time to go downstairs, get the laundry, and eat something before I go to bed. And then tomorrow I will look for fish and chip places that deliver.
Hold it!
Alright, ballistics expert. I thought you were just a tourist. Yeah, objection, injection, selection, protect, disinfect, ASET. Good day, I am visiting London for sightseeing. I would like to take bus to Crystal Tower, please. There's no way he's just a visiting tourist. Wow, you both were on the same page there. You both said the same word. So you're a ballistics expert? Who knew? I have much experience with guns. Ah. I have lived through many, how do you say, extreme, violent bath of, no. Blood of, extreme violent extreme violent bloodbaths, perhaps? Those. Extreme violent bloodbaths. English is very difficult tongue. Yeah, no kidding. That's gotta be the thumbnail right there. Considering the sort of people you associate with, I'm surprised you still have a tongue. Anyway, if you have questions about the bullet and guns, you ask me. There is nothing I don't know. No mystery that I cannot solve. He's very confident in his knowledge of guns, that's for sure. But if possible, please, only in Russian language. He's not very confident in his knowledge of English, though, is he? No, still, we should bear it in mind. He's our man if there's a mystery about guns or bullets. What about Guns N' Roses? What does he know about that? Von Zeeks has managed to convince everyone. And you have eliminated the impossible, he said. But he hasn't. If we're going to fight back, we need more material. And we have to fight back. We have to turn this trial around again. Maybe the Russian and the maid contradicts each other. Maybe.
Hold it!
Just because Miss Lestrade has a history of pickpocketing, she must be guilty of murder. Is that what you're saying? Oh, well... Are all members of the British Army so quick to judge? I beg your pardon? Flood, flap, bub, bap, bab. I didn't say that right. Flood, flap, bub, bab, bap. Baps. I've heard bap be used for a few things, including boobs. And then there's bup, which is the toad noise. Bup! Bup! I beg your pardon? Are you mocking Her Majesty's Armed Forces, the greatest military organization in the world? No, I'm simply illustrating my point. Making assumptions about people because they're a soldier or pickpocket is wrong and dangerous. Well, yes, might have a point there, I suppose. Let's not forget the girl that always shown it. She had it in her from before. She's clearly a criminal sort through and through. Can't deny it. When you say that she'd shown it, she had it in her, are you referring to this? The dicks? The music box dicks? Exactly. Tried to swipe that only a day earlier, Or am I mistaken? Not exactly. Given that I was actually there at the time, it's hard to refute that. Yes, Sour Cream, I played all of Somnium Files on stream, in fact. That game... I was at a point where I wasn't able to... where I wasn't streaming as much because it was right when I first got this position that I keep complaining about. That game got me back into streaming from it. It was like the thing that got me to break my hiatus. And I very much enjoyed it. I'm very much looking forward to streaming the second game next year, Nirvana Initiative. And I'm definitely doing the second part of this before it happens, to make room for it. Given that I was actually here at the time, it's hard to refute that. Yeah, Somnium Files was great. Have you played Zero Escape? That's great too. I've never actually seen the real thing. I can't wait to have a closer look at it. Oh yes, of course. Mr. Sholmes did use his caramel bars to make a copy of the disc, didn't he? And then ordered every type of music box he could find from across Europe. We still don't know what the tune it plays, though, do we? You think Iba's a whore? A hoe? I don't know what you said hoe, but then you deleted the rest of your message. My wallet, it hurts, aw. But I'd love to see how the original compares to Hurley's copy. Oh, you think Iba's hot? I mean, they're making a PVC of her, like, human form for the second game. Have you seen that? Here, let me grab that real quick. I was considering pre-ordering it, and I'm like, I don't know if I really need this. Nirvana Initiative. Collector's Edition. Where is it? There it is. Yeah, Amazon, but whatever. Not a big fan of supporting Amazon. This fly's just coming out now. Here. Check that out. Yeah, it looks neat. Coming 2022. PVC figure image not yet revealed. People are joking it's going to be like the eyeball form for her instead of the human form, but I don't think they're going to pull a 180 like that. Maybe they'll include it somewhere, but I don't know. Comes with an art book, a music disc, yeah, official soundtrack, outer box, game, and physical game. Wait, what? Oh yeah, okay, yeah. It's just those 4 items. And there she is. There's Mizuki, however old she is now, with Aiba. I don't know why she has Aiba. Where's Date? What happened to him? And there she is. There she is. There's Aiba. She exists still. Very much looking forward to that. I'm probably going to digitally download it. The thing is, the Switch version... You think Date died of old age? This isn't that much later. It's like... she's not that much older. Or just retired, yeah. I think something happened to him, because there must be a reason that Aiba is now in Mizuki instead of Date. I really hope no one watching this right now didn't want Somnium Files spoiled for them. But I guess none of that's really spoilers. If you've started the game, you would know all of that stuff. But yeah, Nirvana Initiative next year. I'm going to stream that. The problem is, I have to see the reviews of it first, because the Switch version of Somnium Files, the loading times are unbearable. Like, I love having the games portably, but I think that was I think the sequel might be a case where I get the Steam version if the loading times aren't improved on Switch, because the Switch, every time it pulled up one of those like little images where you saw the like side image of someone, not a side image, like the little video footage, it would always like take like 10 seconds to load in, and characters would just sit there staring at each other. Anyway, we've gone far off the rails here. But I'd love to see how the original compares to Hurley's copy. McGilded's disc. Disc. Didn't say dicks. Message deleted is not capitalized, Ham. Could it be a clue somehow? Perhaps if we examine it in more detail. I think. Hold on. I actually want to see. Can I moderate this? Hold on. How do you moderate a message? It is now. Show mod icons. Oh, there it is. Nope. There we go. It is lowercase. Okay, I should probably keep those mod icons on, even though they take up a lot of space. Haha, I have deleted your message. As only 2 bullets were found at the scene, I can say this whole case is done and dusted. It's the number of bullets that has you convinced. Only 2 bullets were fired, only 2 guns that fired have been examined by the police. When the parlor maid asks me how many you're invited for dinner, I always tell her to count the table settings. Well, that's logical, I suppose. Although, yes, sometimes after dining, crockery does go missing. 1 or 2 guests rather like the fine china. Does your employer dine with thieves? So I suppose, if there was another bullet somewhere of which we were unaware, I'd have to reconsider my position. A 3rd bullet somewhere on the scene. Could that be possible? No! Not impossible. Unfortunately, only 2 bullets were discovered by the police during their investigation. Yes, I know. Right. And I don't imagine the good men of Scotland Yard would have overlooked anything. Band appeals are fun to read. Yeah, they are. Modding for Twitch is pretty fun most of the time. Yeah, but now with the hate raids and shit, it's annoying. If I missed a bullet while I was cleaning his lordship's office as well. I should receive a sound scolding, I don't doubt. And he should receive a visit from the police, perhaps. It sounds like a crime scene to me. A 3rd bullet. It would completely turn things around if there was one, wouldn't it? Do you think we might find one lying around somewhere? I don't think we might find one lying around somewhere. Someone, maybe.
Hold it!
Fuck, though. I have to go do this again. Hold on. Allow me to show you, then. The 3rd bullet. Wait, is it evidence? Yeah, I guess it is the blood sample, because we don't know what it's for. I don't suppose this would pass as the 3rd... Come on! This fucking game with it passes for a bullet as much as you pass for a lawyer, my learned friend. Coming from you, I'm going to take that as meaning not much. In no way does it resemble a bullet, if that helps your understanding of my last remark. Counsel, at the very least, I would expect the evidence you present to be of the correct form. It's been a long day. Yes, it has. Let's try to find this 3rd bullet before we attempt again, Runo. This is kind of bullshitty. This game runs in a lot of nuance that you're not always given. This trial in particular seems to be bad with that.
Hold it!
So if I've understood correctly, you need 2 pictures, a left eye one and a slightly different right eye one. Exactly. Then you could see the scene in 3 dimensions. Like this. So, if we have 2 bullets, I don't suppose you can see anything useful with them. I think you'll find that no matter how much you squint, the truth of the situation always looks the same here. The only person who could have shot the victim is that girl in the dock. How can you be so sure of that? Think about it. The Skulkin brothers shot the great detective, didn't they? Yes, it's been mentioned once or twice. Well then, surely it's coming into focus now, isn't it? This is a waste of time. I'm not going to change this man's mind anytime soon. do you mean you're in for a busy day? Forgot to say. Stop. Do excuse me. Stop. I'm a communications officer. Stop. A communications officer? Does that have something to do with sending telegrams? Everything from personal messages written by members of the public for the latest news in the capital. I convert all the messages into Morse code and tap it out to the entire world electronically. To the entire world? Thousands of miles of cable under the sea. Stop. Worldwide communication network. Stop. Information transmitted to and from all corners of the globe. Stop. Ah, yes. She was getting equally worked up about radio waves or the like before, wasn't she? I specialize in communicating information from government departments and newspaper offices. I see. I'm sure I shall have to wire the newspaper reports of today's guilty verdict later. So no sleep for me tonight, I imagine. Let's just finish the trial first, shall we? Oh, you're doing what I do. As it was only the two... I don't know. I guess I have to pit here before I present anything. But what do I pit? Pitting the old guy instead. Didn't I try this guy and her? Maybe it's him and the gun expert.
Objection!
Yep, it was. Those two statements clearly contradict the idea that all I do is pit jurors against each other. Oh, a ballistics expert. Pitting. P-I-T-T. On the night in question, Mr. Sholmes was shot by one of the Skulkin brothers. But since there was no sign of an exit wound on his back, we must assume the bullet didn't pass through him. However, no bullet was found lodged in Mr. Sholmes' body, either. Furthermore, a bullet was found lodged in the wall of the shop where Mr. Sholmes was shot. Juror number 6. Hello, my name is Villain. Pleased to meet you. Oh, he just admitted he's Villain. This apparent contradiction in the facts that is so clearly troubling juror number 4. Are you able to explain the mystery? I have seen a very similar situation in Motherland. It was night. There was blizzard. I was running away along mountain road in freezing cold. Golly. The snow was piling up high on both sides of the road. It was very narrow and dangerous. My pursuers had hunting rifles and they were on dog sleds. Mental note, don't ask too many questions. I was shot from behind. I fell down in snow. And this situation was very similar to what I hear today from Doctor. They could not find any bullet in body. And no sign of, how do you say, exit wound. And then where did the bullet go? Bullet never hit me. If it never hit you, why did you fall down? Bullet hit frozen wall of ice very close to my side. What? One small piece, very sharp, broke away from lump of ice and pierced my body. It made deep wound that looks just like bullet wound. Good gracious. Of course, piece of ice quickly melted inside of me. And that is solution to mystery of disappearing bullet. Oh, nice, the ice pick story. I love that murder idea. There's a book I read where a guy who rapes and kills a girl ends up getting killed by an icicle falling down to him, piercing him, and then it wasn't really a mystery, it was just that's how he dies, and it's such a fitting death for that character. It's very interesting. It was a weird, like, ghost story. I read it in high school. I think it was called The Lovely Bones. I actually really enjoyed it. I don't know why. Like, I hated most of my school reading, but that book was pretty good. Also really weird that I was forced to read a book involving rape when I was in high school. Yeah, it is karma. Again, sorry to anyone I spoiled the movie that book for, and I think there's a movie for it too. I've never seen it. You still read to this day, actually? Well, I mean, I read too occasionally. I just, you know, I never liked the ones I was assigned to during school. Except, Animal Farm, which I read in 8th grade. Very weird book for an 8th grader to read. Princess Bride, which was fun. And Lovely Bones, which I enjoyed. I haven't read any of those in a long time. Always buy 5 books at a time. Wow. I am kind of short on books right now. I don't really have time to read these days. But that doesn't answer the question at all. Hmm? The shooting happened at a pawnbroker's shop. Wow, I've lost the voice of this guy. That's up Snowy Mountain Road in another country. Just an idea, but we might not be looking at exactly the same scenario here. Bruno, where exactly was Hurley shot again? Well, according to the report, in his stomach. Sort of around this area, I think. Well, that's precisely where he always wears a little pouch on his belt. A pouch? Actually, I might have noticed something like that. Yes, a pouch. It's where he keeps 3 glass vials of very dangerous chemicals that he uses in his investigations. What? Really? Doctor, where's the pouch Mr. Sholmes was wearing? Well, the fellow had nothing like that on his person when he arrived at the hospital, as far as I remember. If I may. Lord Van Zeeks? Well, I realize it is forbidden for the prosecution to interject during a summation examination. I should inform the defense that I have the pouch in question in the antechamber outside the courtroom. Sorry? As I understand it, when the police arrived on the scene and found Mr. Sholmes injured, they removed the pouch in order to assess the wound. Ah, thank goodness. I thought I was getting forgetful for a moment. Since then, it has been in my safekeeping along with all other evidence relating to the case. I can personally vouch for the fact that it has not been touched since the incident occurred. Very well. While extremely unconventional during a summation examination, I must demand the prosecution presents the item in question with all speed. Bring forth Mr. Sherlock Sholmes' pouch. I almost said Sherlock. I don't know who that is. There's no one named Sherlock. We won't get sued. I see. You're only reading King of Thorns, Witcher, Baptism of Fire, Bright Steel, The Shadow, and a classic, The Hobbit. Wow. Really into the high fantasy stuff, huh? A lot of that stuff bored me. I can't get into a lot of high fantasy. I'm more into weird, creepy stories and... I don't know. I actually don't have a preferred type of book. I just read whatever piques my interest. I see. So this is the pouch worn by Mr. Sholmes the night in question, is it? Look at that. One of the files is broken and the leather around it is scorched black. You like crime stories? I mean, I like Ace Attorney, so I guess so. It's almost as if the file exploded. Exploded? So that night, the bullet from the Skulkin brothers' gun struck Mr. Sholmes' pouch. And it was the glass file exploding that caused the fellow's injury. This bullet did not penetrate victim, but was deflected into wall of shop. Probably like Crime Junkies podcast. Maybe. A delightfully complex aroma. Well, it would appear one mystery has been solved at least. Though it has no bearing on the truth of this case. The bungling and burgling brothers shot the detective, and the accused shot the pawnbroker. The pertinent facts of the case remain unaltered. But at least this mystery is solved. I can sleep easy tonight. Tell stories of real crimes. You'll love it. Nice. I watch those crime shows sometimes. My mom watches a lot of them. The murder, suicide, or homicide thing. I can't remember. Manslaughter, homicide, or suicide. Real victims or whatever. Real truth, real murder. I don't know. Whatever it's called. Thank you, young man. Duh. Thank you very much. Glad I could help. Due to its bearing on the conundrum just solved, the court will sequester the scruffy pouch as evidence. Hurley's pouch isn't scruffy. Pouch Mr. Sholmes was wearing around his waist at the time of shooting. One of the glass files is smashed and there are scorch marks around it. There's gonna be a bullet in it. Summation examination. would appear the defense is somewhat struggling to alter opinion, Please, my lord, a little more time. After all, that's a new piece of evidence. It could be a valuable clue, and you can't afford to overlook anything here, Ryunosuke. Hint, examine the fucking pouch. These glass vials are full of Hurley's homemade potions. Homemade? Yes, like fingerprint powder to show up where people have touched things. And scent amplifying solution to intensify a smell lingering on any object. That's amazing. They're all very easy to use. There's just one thing that you have to be careful of. They're all very flammable. Mr. Sholmes is a walking bomb. Either he's passionate about finding the truth, or just oblivious to the dangers. Oh look, there's a hole here at the back. Doesn't look much like a bullet hole, but clearly something's ripped through the leather with great force. Something must have pierced it somehow to have left this hole behind. Yes, it looks that way. Mr. Sholmes and his pouch both took a beating, didn't they? That's a bullet bulge? Yeah, I think so. But they're not focusing on that, so it's not examinable from that end. However, we can... This file's been smashed to pieces. Presumably, this is where the bullet struck. As soon as the bullet hit the chemical in that file, there would have been a really big explosion. A big explosion? Well, Hurley's potions and chemicals are amazingly useful for investigation work he does, but they're also quite tricky to handle, safely at least. They're very dangerous. Oh, I'm sure that when this file broke, the chemical inside would have ignited. Note to self, always walk on the right-hand side of Sholmes in future. Left is the danger zone. Whoop. Oh, what's that in there? What? Oh, you can't actually examine the bullet. That is the bullet in there, right? That is definitely the bullet. Oh, wait. Hold on. Examine the bullet hole. It's really scorched badly just here. Oh, the strap is broken, look. This must be where the bullet hit, then. Let me see. There it is, baby. The smoking bullet. Literally. Smoldering. What the? Iris, look! Behind where the broken file was. Do you see it? Ah, that's the Skulkin Brothers bullet. What a stroke of luck that what a stroke of luck that it hit his pouch. This is an amazing discovery. What this means is, there were 3 bullets fired at Windy Banks that night. We found exactly what the juror was talking about. The 3rd bullet. It's time to press that juror again, I think. The 3rd bullet, a projectile we discovered lodged in Mr. Sholmes' pouch, and caused one of the files to explode, injuring Mr. Sholmes. This is the bullet that was fired from the Skulkin Brothers' gun on the night of the incident. Yes, so it turns out it never actually entered Hurley's body at all. Thanks to the thick leather of that pouch he was wearing, it saved him. Hurley's always lucky like that. Well, considering what he had to go through in hospital, I wonder how lucky he really was. Oh dear, poor Hurley. Still a way to turn this around, somehow. I'm sure of it. Stop! Oh my god.
Hold it! Take that!
Here it is. We discovered it just now. Yes, on the night in question in Windy Bake's pawnbrokery, another bullet was fired. If I had to guess, the 3rd bullet, the one in the calendar, and that blood probably belongs to the murderer.
Hold it!
Oh, nice. I've seen a prosecutor do a hold-up before. What is this new trickery, you Nipponese conjurer? Where'd you find that bullet? It was lodged inside Mr. Sholmes' pouch. What? This pouch was removed from around Mr. Sholmes' waist before he was taken to the hospital. And Von Zeke's, he went through so much trouble to not tamper with it, he didn't even notice the bullet was in there. And since then has been touched by no one. Do you mean to say the shot fired by the Skulkin brothers that night? Yes, as your lordship has surmised. It hit this pouch. I also like how the judge in this game is not a buffoon. The judge is usually not the smartest person, but the judge in this game definitely seems to at least be more level-headed and less likely to fly into like a tangent. But that makes no sense whatsoever. We already know the whereabouts of the bullet fired at Mr. Sholmes. It's clearly visible in this photographic print. Ugh! 2 guns from the scene have already been submitted into the court record as evidence. You missed me finding the 3rd bullet. Yes, that of Mr. Windybank and that belonging to the Skulkin brothers. An examination of both guns revealed that only a single bullet had been fired from each. But that must mean... That's right. We now know that on the night in question, 3 bullets were fired. However, only 2 bullets were fired from the guns recovered from the crime scene. And until that incontrovertible inconsistency is somehow explained, we cannot and must not pass judgment. Wow, haven't seen him do that before, I don't think. Order, order, order! While the summation examination remains incomplete, the court has been presented with new facts. Facts that would appear to shake the very foundations upon which this case against the defendant has been built. Oh, he did last trial? Okay. As is my prerogative in this situation, I hereby temporarily suspend the summation examination. By Jupiter! What? Bailiff, bring the witnesses back to the stand at once. Witnesses? Governor? Were you listening to the proceedings while the defense carried out the summation examination? We was, Governor, we was. Perhaps we could dispense with a tedious preamble. Simply answer this one question. A 3rd bullet has been identified at the scene of the crime. What do you make of that? Make of it, Gov? I don't make nothing of nothing if I can't help it. Is it one of yours? Go blimey, Gov, go blimey, not a chance. In that case, did you have an accomplice? What? Never. The Skulkin brothers work alone. It's just the 2 of us, that's our trademark. How could we soon forget poor Sulky? Only 2 of the bullets fired from the crime scene originated from the firearms we have in evidence. The 3rd bullet was fired from another gun. Where is it? Lummy. That's an head scratcher. Counsel for the defense? Yes? I should like to hear your thoughts regarding these new developments. The 3rd bullet, and the mysterious missing firearm from whence it came. Thinking back over all the testimony we've heard and all the evidence we've seen, I think I'm starting to form a picture of what really happened that night. My lord, I think it's clear that this 3rd bullet tells us about the Skulkin brothers. They had a secret accomplice, they had another gun, it's nothing to do with them. On that night at Windybank's pawnbrokery, the brothers must have been working with a 3rd man. The witnesses are clearly doing their best to cover up the existence of this accomplice. But the evidence all points to the fact that there was someone else present. Someone carrying a gun.
Objection!
Third man is the blonde guy? Maybe, but he's in police custody, so how? I have a sneaking suspicion of who it might be, but I don't think it could... No, you know what? It can't be. I don't think it can be who I think it is. They wouldn't pull the same stunt in 2 games. Guys, drinking a bit too much wine on the job, yeah? Accomplish, you say? Pig swill. These protracted proceedings have already forced us into endure 2 summation examinations. Yet in all of that time, there has been not a murmur of a third man. If this is apparently wraith-like being exists, the court must be shown hard evidence. What type of man drinks wine? Without it, this fantasy will be crushed. Ah! The prosecution demands answers on 2 counts again. Firstly, proof, evidence, that this accomplice was ever at the scene of the crime. And secondly, the identity of this spurious character. The Skulkins are lying, I know that. But how can I ascertain the identity of the person they're hiding? Well, counsel? I'm supposed to prove the existence of the accomplice, and reveal the person's identity, even. In response to the prosecution's demands, my lord, the defense is... Ooh, okay. The defense is... unable to complete a sentence, it would seem, much less provide any credible answers here. Yes, it would appear so. Very well, this trial will now... Wait. Please! Good gracious, counsel. I have to keep the momentum going here. I can't give up now. Maybe it's blood, maybe it's red water. This is just like scientific research, if you ask me. Sorry? When you start doubting yourself and thinking you can't possibly work something out, you become blind. Even though in truth, the answer you're looking for is right there in front of you. Well, I only have 1 shot left, so this is gonna kill me. The answer is right here in front of me. My lord, actually, the defense would like to present answers to the questions posed by the prosecution. So, my Nipponese friend, despite the swimming eyes, you seem to think you have something to say. But your earlier tongue-tied display will not go unpunished. Yes, it will. Check this shit out. It's weird because there's only 1 instance in the entire series where you have to say no when you're ready to present something. The defense is ready. I believe I can provide all the answers the prosecution demands. So, my Nipponese friend, despite the swimming eyes, you seem to think you have something to say. This promises to be interesting. I have to push forward now. There's no other option. I need to use every single piece of evidence available to me if it will make a difference. In that case, counsel, I would ask you to present the evidence without delay. On the night in question, in the moments leading up to the death of the victim, what proof have you that there was a 3rd intruder present at the scene? Oh boy. Oh. Blood samples. The evidence is right here, in this portfolio. By Jove, that portfolio again, is it? Do you expect the court to rifle through your papers itself? Be more specific. You claim one of these blood samples proves the presence of a 3rd intruder. Well, which one is it? Clearly, it's not the victim, and it's not Thrice-Fired Mason.
Take that!
What am I looking at here? There appears to be some green paint or such like around the bullet hole in the middle of the calendar. That's a bloodstain, my lord. A bloodstain? Green blood. Curious, even for you. Is the court to understand that the intruder was some unhuman creature? It's something developed by Mr. Herlock Sholmes. By the great detective? New invention. Stop. Not yet appeared in stories. Stop. It's this, you see. It doesn't have a name yet, though. This fogger sprays a chemical that reacts with the different elements in people's blood to change its color. Different elements of people's blood? Yes, everyone's blood is slightly different, you see, because it's made up of different elements. So by seeing what color it changes to, You can tell in a flash whose blood it is. Oh, that brings a whole extra dimension to looking at blood. Talk of blood in courtroom. Stop. Very exciting. Stop. As an example, this one shows the blood of the victim, Mr. Windybank. He was royal, so he has royal blue blood. Ah, striking blue. It's funny that the judge is just believing this. He's like, hey, yeah, this is credible. So you see, the green color of the bloodstain on this calendar shows that somebody else was shot in the main part of the shop. Now hold fire there, young man. Could that be from some unrelated incident, couldn't it? No, it's not unrelated. The date showing on the calendar is the date on which the Mr. Windybank was killed. By golly! Therefore, we can assume that whoever was shot was on the same day. And whose blood is it? Well, the Skulkin brothers in the stand don't appear to be suffering from any gunshot injuries. Which means it must be the blood of somebody else. The third intruder, in fact.
Objection!
Whose identity the court is still waiting to hear. You can't delay this any longer, my learned friend. Who is this alleged third intruder? Who could it fucking be? I mean, I guess Egbert Benedict is the most logical choice.
Take that!
The man's name is Egbert Benedict. Egbert Benedict? Who on earth are you talking about, Counsel? He paid a visit to Windybank's pawnbroker on the afternoon before the incident took place, when the accused attempted to deceive the pawnbroker into releasing this article into her possession. That's right. Oh, he had a gun! That's right, he had a gun on him. The man identified by the defense, Mr. Egbert Benedict, then attempted to take the article from the defendant by force. He had a gun on him. Broker. Oh wait, well, I'm not reading this again. JoJo pose. Inspector Gregson was there at the time and can attest to what happened. In the end, it was the inspector himself who took the disc. You corroborate this account, Inspector? Yes, my lord. That's more or less what happened. In the interest of being thorough, I asked Windybank for a print showing the fella. 11 a.m. Take it from one of his red-handed recorder gubbinses. Yes, that's him talking to Mr. Windybank that morning. And you claim this man is the brother's accomplice? Well, Mr. Skulkin. Blech. Never seen the geezer before in me life. On me life, gov, on me life, never seen him. Well, somewhat unsurprisingly, it appears our witnesses disagree with the assertion. I'm sure your lordship recalls my learned Nipponese friend's actual assertion, which was that he could prove the identity of the alleged accomplice. Yes, and I can. Then show us the evidence. I agree, we must see proof that the clean-cut gentleman in this photograph is the filthy criminal you say he is. This is the last piece of evidence. I've had a feeling that something has been missing in this trial from the very start. But now, I'm going to drag it kicking and screaming into this courtroom. Are you ready to present your... what? God, I really hate how Twitter's pushing this, like, thing where it gives you announcements on accounts you don't use very often. It's annoying to go in and just dismiss them constantly. Are you ready to present your answer to the court then, counsel? No, 1 second. Yes, my lord, the defense will present the evidence now. Proof that the man pictured in this photographic print was in fact the person struck by the third bullet. Wait, what? I have to prove it with evidence? Oh no. It couldn't be because this blood stain was on there from before. Oh, Runo, look. This is blood. Oh, wait a minute. Yes, we can. This is it. Just a small smear, but definitely blood. Actually, I feel as though I might have noticed that before. Haha, then it's my time to shine again. I thought I'd been waiting forever. Alright, hold still with that disc, Runo. Can we get this done quickly, Iris? In a flash. Green, 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 green. Yes! Oh, a lovely bright shade again. Wait, that color. What is it? It's just that green. It's not the first time we've seen that color, is it? 4 samples of blood analyzed with a special chemical indicator. Developed by Mr. Sholmes. Different people's blood turns different colors.
Take that!
The proof is right here, in this portfolio. Good gracious, Counsel, does that portfolio contain the answers to every question posed? I see you share my interest in claret-colored liquids, my Nipponese friend, but... Enough. The court demands to see further evidence. Which blood sample proves the man you identified was the one shot by the third bullet at the scene of the crime?
Take that!
As I mentioned before, on the afternoon of the day in question, the defendant attempted, deceitfully, admittedly, to reclaim this disc from Windybanks. Which is when the aforementioned Egbert Benedict, I keep saying Egbert Benedict, appeared on the scene, I believe. This man attempted to purloin the article from the defendant's possession, no? That's correct, my lord. I myself was present at the time. It was following this that a minor incident occurred. Yeah, that's right. He got blood in the disc because, Gina tried to force it out of his hand. Or his pocket. Yep, he got a little bit of the blood on the disc, and that was his. And now the color matches up to the blood stain on the calendar. Being a music box disc, it has countless small but sharp metal protrusions all over its surface. You little tramp, yep. Those protrusions caused Mr. Benedict's finger to bleed. And the resulting smear of blood is still visible on this disc now. Goodness, a blood stain, is it? My assistant and I have just analyzed the blood stain here in this very courtroom. Wow, the fact that we have this color-changing thing means that now, while we can't use fingerprints, we can examine blood quicker than we can examine it in the mainline Ace Attorney games. Using my trusty fogger gun. Yes, and we added the results to this portfolio. I say, it's green! It's exactly the same color as the blood around the calendar. The evidence is conclusive. The man calling himself Mr. Egbert Benedict, who was in Windybanks earlier in the day, is the accomplice who was present at the scene of the crime that same night. So there was someone else. Look at these two brothers now, they're sweating buckets! Oi, who are you talking about? It's boiling in here! My lord, it is the opinion of the defense that Mr. Egbert Benedict should be summoned to the courtroom to testify. I bet, Gregson is gonna get really flustered because this Benedict guy is involved in something else here, the bigger case. Objection, it's only 65 in here. It would certainly seem that we can ill afford to ignore this gentleman's apparent presence.
Objection!
This has gone on long enough now. This flagrant ignorance of the mechanics of law. Herlock Sholmes, you say? Yes, I've heard the name. The protagonist in a series of short stories for the vulgar classes. A god of detection or some such. And now you employ chemical substances devised with this fantastical persona in the highest court in the land. Do you expect us to take you seriously? The samples made by this plaything are not fit to be called evidence. So the bloodstain turned a shade of green. What of it? Here's to you successfully proving that no other blood in the world will turn the same color. Well... What are those? And pray, do not even think of suggesting that we take Mr. Sholmes' word for it. Is he right? Is Mr. Sholmes' concoction a load of rubbish? I don't know. I mean, he's a great detective. What are you talking about? We can't let him get away with that. I knew it would come to this. Of course, Mr. Sholmes' invention isn't going to be recognized by any official body. But what other choice do I have? I'm just remembering what Father Christmas over there said before. About how he was temporarily suspending the summation examination. In other words, the examination isn't over yet, is it? Good grief, what did you say, young girl? In the summation examination, the decision as to whether or not the trial continues is in the hands of the 6 jurors, isn't it? So the way I see it, it doesn't matter what certain other people think of Hurley's invention. At least, not for now. Yes, she's right. Young lady, you have quite a devious mind. It really just comes down to one thing. Whether these ladies and gentlemen of the jury are convinced by what you say, Bruno. Is that about right, would you say? Or did I misunderstand something? Unbelievable. Mr. Sholmes' partner is a force to be reckoned with. Iris Wilson, sharpshooter. Whack. After that shrewd precis of the situation from an entirely unexpected source, it must be acknowledged that the previous summation examination has yet to reach its conclusion. This is absurd. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, the court now looks to you for your final leanings in this matter. As proud citizens of Her Majesty's Britain, I'm sure you will come to fair and just conclusions. Fart Van Dix got outplayed by a 10-year-old. Yeah. So then, state your final decisions in turn, please.
Not guilty.
Not guilty. Not guilty.
Guilty.
Guilty!
Uh-oh.
Not guilty.
Ooh! Thought we were gonna be hung there. Two called guilty and 4 called not guilty. This is the outcome of the summation examination. Thank you, Villain.
Objection!
My lord, with all due respect, this is an outrage. This is a fucking garbage jury. We gotta get a new one here. God, fucking piece of shit. Oh, God, fuck. The prosecution refuses to accept this decision. On what grounds? If these jurors are persuaded by some half-baked concoction devised by a pretender to real police work, then they are too ignorant to be trusted with the judgment of anyone's guilt. I'm sorry, Lord Van Zieks, but the outcome of the summation examination cannot be ignored. This trial will continue. Nevertheless, we find ourselves in a rather awkward situation. The defense has very reasonably requested the subpoena of a new witness. But sadly, I fear that will be impossible. What? The name of the gentleman gave for himself, Egbert Benedict, is quite clearly false. I don't believe it. Just when I'd managed to prove the man was there at the night. Could I say something? Who is it, Gina? Who? Who's that, please? Who spoke? Oh. It was me, my lord. I'm assuming this is where we stop. Yeah, it's gonna go... I think there's a recess coming up. Because I looked at the chapters, and the next chapter after further testimony was recess. So we're probably gonna just hit it in a couple minutes. Juror number 5? What have you to say about him? If possible, Inspector... Me, ma'am? I wonder if you might show the photographic print to me again, the one which the gentleman is shown. Ah, right, yes. This one, you mean, of Mr. Benedict? Yes. There's no doubt in my mind. Juror number 5, you don't mean to say... You know this man? Yes, I know him. What? No! Good gracious! Order, order, order! Juror number 5, how on earth? I'm a communications officer, stop. As we can clearly see, this gentleman in the photograph is, stop, also a communications officer. Stop. He works in my office. Stop. Very talented operator, in fact. Stop. He should be in the communication station now. Stop. Tapping away on the telegraph. Stop. You're right, this is where we stop. Multiple times, apparently. That doesn't seem right somehow. I can't put my finger on why, but it doesn't feel right. I suppose we all imagine the accomplice would be some sort of hardened criminal. It's a bit unexpected to find out that he has a respectable job by day, whatever he gets up to at night. Yes, I suppose that's it. I suppose that's why I felt something was wrong. If the gentleman is at London's communication station, we should be able to subpoena him within the hour. Lord Von Zeeks, if you please. Telegraph says dots and dashes, not just dots, yeah. Yes, my lord. Make the necessary arrangements with all haste. As your lordship bids. The court will recess for 1 hour. When the new witness arrives, we shall reconvene to hear the gentleman's testimony. Inspector Gregson? Yes, my lord? I should like to hear from you specifically about events at the pawnbrokery on that day in question. Come to my chambers during the recess. Yes, sir, my lord. Very well. Court is adjourned until 1:40 p.m. That's enough time to go get a snack and use the toilet. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba. Ba-ba-ba-ba. Ba-da-doo. Alright, let me quit out. 12:41 p.m. Alright, so this is right after it. Alright, yeah, and this is where we're going to stop for tonight. So we're getting close to the end. I believe there's only one more court section after this. Actually, I could probably look. This might have spoilers, so... Whoops. So here's where we are. So recess is 12. And then something about Graydon... Something about that. Okay. Okay, so yeah, we have... Like, the recess chapter is probably not going to be long. So we have 5 more chapters to go, or 6 more chapters to go here. This might not be over in another stream, unfortunately. We'll see. But unfortunately, that's it until Sunday. I am going to be going down to my girlfriend's house tomorrow night, hanging with some friends on Saturday, and then coming home Sunday. Sunday night I might stream more of this. In fact, I want to, because I want to get through this before, like, the blackout starts next week. Again, not going to be streaming Tuesday night or Wednesday night because of the Twitch blackout, and I highly recommend most people just avoid Twitch on the 1st. Again, I'm doing 2 days because of my weird stream schedule. What I'm going to do is, one of those nights I'm probably doing voice acting stuff, so I'm not going to do anything regardless. The other, I might record something offline and then just upload it to YouTube. And I have an idea of what I might want to do. It might be like a one-off special stream. We'll see. But yeah, Sunday and Monday probably going to be streaming. Hopefully finish this game. And then Thursday and probably Friday and Saturday of next week I'll stream. We'll see, because I don't know what's happening next weekend. But yeah, that's the foreseeable future. The week after that, on the 7th, or the 6th, I can't remember which day, is my 5th anniversary of streaming. Probably going to start something new that night. I don't know. Like, this is the problem. I'm trying to cram way too much into the streams right now, and I don't have time off. So, maybe I'll see what I could do regarding getting time off that week. To maybe just stream and enjoy myself. But, we'll see. For now, thank you all for coming. Really, I always appreciate it. If you want to watch more streams, check out twitch.tv/team/wildabandon. Plenty of people streaming there right now. My auto host will take you to one as soon as I go offline. Actually, you know what? There's 4 people here. Maybe I'll raid. Maybe I'll do a raid tonight of someone on Wild Abandon. But yeah, you all have a great evening, and I will see you hopefully Sunday. Good night.